129 carries through 5 games. He's caught 3 passes for 39 yards as well. Leading up in the hole is going to be Dakota Adams. He's another 6', 235 guy. Has only carried 8 times, but you got a big guy like that leading in the hole. Flanker is going to be Logan Turpin, another senior, 5'11", 160. He's got 297 yards, 35 carries, 4 touchdowns. Tight ends are huge as well. Andrew Steffi and Shannon Chesterfield. These are 2 sophomores, 6'3" and 6'5", 230 and 255. They haven't really gone to them passing the ball. Up front, a big offensive line. Austin Stowell, a junior, 5'7", 270. Brody Lindy, a junior, 6'3", 250. Braden Wesner at center, the only senior on the starting lineup, 6'1", 260. Chance McKinney, a 5'8", 170 junior. Alex Stowell, a 5'8", 265 tackle. On the line. And the defensive side is Andrew Stevie, a sophomore, 6'2", 235, is the leading tackler, 44 tackles. We talked about Austin Markle. He's the other backer with 43 tackles. Maverick Van Hindenreich, a junior, has 6 sacks, and he's a big outside linebacker for the Cougars. Adams is at defensive end. Chesterfield, defensive tackle. Austin Byer, a 6', 230 junior, is at nose guard. Kelton Allen, a sophomore, defensive tackle. Logan Turcom, Jacob Reed, Nate Gingrich, and Doug Bays are your defensive backs. For the Miners, same as always, Dane Rupska, 324 yards rushing, has thrown the ball for 673 yards and 8 touchdowns. Austin Hale, Zane Hayden, and Mitch Eberhardt, all 3 are the running backs. Hale had the first 100-yard game for the season for the Miners last year with 433. Johnson, Morris, Rydell, Van Winkle, and Miller are our offensive line. Defensively, we're led in tackles by Wyatt Franklin with 28 at defensive tackle. Jace Hurton has 25. Cody Van Winkle has 24, and I expect we'll see a lot of Dane Rupska tonight with 20. And just a big atmosphere tonight, Keith. 2 big rivals. Homecoming, number 1 in the state. This is a perfect scenario for North Davies to have every reason to come up here and try to pull the big upset.
Well, our broadcast is brought to you in part by Midwest Satellite. If you're looking to reduce your TV bill, call Mike Morin at Midwest Satellite in Linton to sign up for Dish Network with packages starting as low as $19.99 a month. That includes free installation, free equipment, and a free iPad as well. He'll even pay $50 on your first bill. What a deal from Mike Morin. Don't call an 800 number from Lord knows where. Call Mike Morin in Linton at Midwest Satellite. He will treat you right. My biggest problem getting here, Dan, was just right about the front of the school building over there. The traffic is unbelievable. And I actually wound up, you just take for granted, I'm the first one here to the field every Friday night, it seems like, and I get my pick of parking places. Well, I didn't have that tonight, so that's something that I really miss. And I'll have to walk a long way with my equipment when we're all finished here. A
night like tonight, because Elnora and Odin is probably emptied out as well.
Yeah, these bleachers here, the visiting bleachers, are absolutely jam-packed. This is a standing room only crowd tonight. Both sets of bleachers across the field, all red and blue from Linton. They're packed. The North Davies crowd turned out really big time here for this. The captains are getting ready to meet out in the middle of the field for the coin toss.
North Davies fans have got this fired up. I mean, we talked last year, Keith, at this very time when Linton was winning that game. We looked at that roster and said, you know what? This Cougar team is going to be very good. I think when they got beat by North Central as many points as they did, and the fact North Central put up over 500 yards of offense, kind of shied people away from it. But I think right now they're hitting their stride. They're healthy. They've had 2 big wins over Washington and North Putnam. But it's going to be a big test tonight for them as well.
You're listening to WQTY Linton, Media 5 Sports. Again, very pleased to produce all the Linton Miners football broadcasts. We've got a big schedule of high school girls and boys basketball to come starting in November. Our kickoff is brought to you by Bobe Swit City. Kick off your evening and your weekend from Bobe's. Why cook when you can have it ready for you when you get there to pick it up? Mike and Amy are on duty, and they'll take great care of you with your favorite sandwich, your favorite pizza, plenty of specialty pizzas. Give them a call at 659-2623, 659-BOBE. They're open every Wednesday through Sunday, 4 until 8. Yeah. North Davies is in their road white tops. They've got black pants, black numbers, orange trim. They have orange helmets with the cougar paw on each side. Miners, of course, in their home reds, red tops, red bottoms, blue numbers, white trim. The red helmets with the white L's on each side.
We're going to get the ball. I think we won the toss and took to take the ball. So it's always a big thing, Keith, that first series. We you'd love to have a nice drive and then put some points on the board. Something the Miners have done every week now for several weeks in a row is get on top of the opposition so quick that they're playing catch-up from the get-go.
Well, I think it's 26 straight that the Miners have won during the regular season. The last loss, and you probably covered this already, was 3 years ago tonight when we went to North Davies and got absolutely shellacked. 73-33. Those will be numbers that will live in infamy, at least for a while.
That was one of those games that
nothing went right for Linton to start with.
I think we were still hooking things up, and it was boom, 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 out go the lights. Of course, the Miners came back the next year with an 81-point outburst. Like I said several times in pregame, it's been good and it's been bad and it's been ugly, and you'd like to see a good contest, but I don't mind the Miners getting out to an early start.
Cougars will kick from right to left. Miners have Zane Hayden, who has 2 punt return touchdowns to his credit so far this season. Austin Hale is also one of the guys back there. Mitch Eberhardt. That's the three-headed monster
and
for the Miners, those 3 guys.
He had the 85-yard touchdown against Eastern.
You can hear the North Davies crowd right out our press box window. They're jazzed up. The Miner crowd jazzed up. They're standing room only. They're standing all over the place here at Roy Williams Field tonight. And we are ready to begin this highly anticipated matchup.
Stephen Cox is going to kick the ball. There it goes.
Here we go. From the 40, a low-line drive kick. It's fielded at the 31 by one of the up guys to the 40, the 44-yard line. That's where the Miners will take over. Jace Herndon was the guy that got the short kick, and good field position for Linton as they'll take over at their own 44.
Good job of getting that ball before it got down to the ground and hopped. I don't think they want to kick it deep, but Herndon gets it out to the 44, so the Miners with really good field position to start off this contest.
Well, Val is out there. He's on the line for the Miners, a double wing formation. Quarterback Dane Rupska has Austin Hale to his right. Eberhardt and Hayden are the wing backs. Here's a fake handoff, and Rupp's going to throw it deep on the first play. Got him out there. Overshot Val. Had him out there, but just a little bit too strong, and the Miners tried that. Was it last Friday? Scored on the very first play, or the week before that?
We scored, not a score, but he went about 60 yards. It was that very play, Keith, but we did the week before, and it was there. He was open for, really, that would have been 6, and that's the kind of thing we've been a little concerned about is consistency.
Val was out there for sure. He had gotten behind the defense, and a 2nd and 10 for the Miners at their own, we'll call it the 45. Rupska back to throw again. Throws it to the far side. It's caught out across the 50 to the 45-yard line of North Davies. Close to a first down. That was Bo Eaton.
Yeah. Eaton has
got on the catch.
That's his 10th catch, and he's been a very vital member. A lot of talk about Stom, but it's been Bo Eaton also making some big plays, and that
first down
gets the ball into the Cougar territory.
We're just underway here at Roy Williams Field. First possession of the football game. Miners moving from left to right, taking on North Davies. Number 1 Linton, 5-0, 4-1 North Davies. Here's a give up the middle to Hale.
Oh, there he goes.
Nice big hole. He breaks a tackle, cuts it to the near side. He's down across the 30 and brought down finally around the 28-yard line. Austin Hale continues to run very, very well, and he is so quick, Dan. We've talked all season long about how quick he is on that first step.
Yeah, and he's not a physical specimen, and he's going against guys twice, 3 times his size, and he broke a couple of arm tackles, and Adams is going to bring him down, but they're down to the 29-yard line.
Gain of 14 there.
Excellent start by the Miner offensive line.
Played about a half a minute on the clock. Rupp's out of the shotgun. Man in motion to the near side's Hayden. He takes the football, looks for an opening, runs toward the sideline, and is collared out of bounds.
Yeah,
short gain on the play.
I don't know if they call horse collar or not, but that
was pretty close.
Sure did look like it.
That was a grab in that general area. It'll be 2nd down and long coming up for the Miners as North Davies defense that time did a good job stretching that play out.
Yeah, he ran about 15, 20 yards to his right, managed to get, looks like a couple of yards.
He's down to the 25, so he's going to pick up 4 on the play, 2nd and 6. Miners working left to right. Again, same formation, double wing. Here's Rupska on a keeper. Looks for a hole on the left side, and he dives across the 25, short gain to the 24, maybe the 23.
And that was Van Hindenreich.
24-yard line, so Rupska's only going to get a yard, and it's going to be 3rd down coming up for Linton, and at least 5.
Certainly 4-down territory. I will tell you, Jay Kangura was really booting the ball in pregame today, so we'd see what would happen if we could get a little bit closer.
Again, double wing formation. Austin Hale to the right of Rupska. And we got movement on the part of Linton. We had one of the offensive linemen move, and that'll cost Linton 5 yards. It'll be 3rd and 10.
That's one of the pregame things we discussed is you cannot have these kind of penalties in a situation like this. Now this is going to make it 3rd and really 10 again, and that's just not what Coach Oliver wants to see from his offensive line. They shouldn't be doing this at this point in the year.
10:32 on the clock, first quarter, first drive of the game. Now Hale is to the left of Rupska. Double wing formation. Back to throw is Rupska, throwing toward the corner of the end zone, and it is caught out there.
Touchdown.
Did he hang on?
Yeah,
there's a flag on the play, and that is Bo Eaton out there that made a super catch.
What a play. I don't know what the flag is going to be. They haven't signaled.
There has been no indication of that being a touchdown, but Bo Eaton jumped up and was clapping his hands.
How can that not be a touchdown?
Unless the penalty goes against Eaton for offensive pass interference, the only thing that it could be. But the officials, you're right, Dan, they have not indicated anything right now.
How's that not a touchdown?
It's going to go against the Cougars.
He must not have caught it, Keith. Boy, I thought he caught that one, didn't I?
Well, he must have dropped it because it was in the far corner away from us. It's a little hard with our angle to see exactly what happens as Eaton's back was to us. So apparently it was not a completion.
Why are the Miners
And now
going
the Miners.
Backwards? No. They're going from the line of scrimmage. Well, the way, if Bo had caught that, he'd be up yelling and screaming right now.
So it's going to be a 15-yard penalty marked off from the line of scrimmage. So this will be a first down for Linton. Not a touchdown, but the football's at the 14-yard line of North Davies.
Nicely thrown ball, and Eaton made a nice
Eaton apparently knew, even though he didn't make that catch, he knew that the penalty was going to go against North Davies.
Yeah.
So the Miners have it 1st and 10 now from the North Davies 14 after the penalty. Rupska takes the football, hands it off. Is that Hayden up the middle? He's got a big hole. He's in the end zone. Zane Hayden with the rushing touchdown, his 5th of the season. And the play right after we thought that Bo Eaton caught a touchdown pass, Zane Hayden takes it in from the 14-yard line.
Great run. Just he does a great job of just kind of being patient, not just running blindly up the hole. He watches his blockers and just makes some great moves. He swivels so well. He was probably the first guy I saw in the locker room tonight, and he was ready for tonight's contest.
Jay Kangura on to try the extra point from the hold of Goodman. Got it down. The kick is blocked. That took a long time to get that play going. And on the Graber Post Building scoreboard, 10:14 left in the first quarter. It's Linton 6, North Davies nothing. Back in 30 seconds. This is a Media 5 sports production. Broadcast brought to you by the Asphalt Doctor in Bloomfield for all your paving, seal coating, and repairs. Call the Asphalt Doctor for a free estimate, 327-4446.
6 plays, 56 yards for the Miners on the opening drive, and 1 minute 46 off the clock. I think you got Bays and Turpin are going to be back for the Cougars. Goodman kicking off.
And the kick is a nice high end-over-end kick, fielded at the 16-yard line. Running up the field to the 30, and a nice tackle. Is that Bays?
That was Bays, and Herndon come in there and got him down low. Where did he catch that ball at, Keith?
I think it was the 16, we'll call it. And he got the football out to the 32.
That was a nice play by Jace Herndon. Just got down low and busted the blocking pattern.
Well, we'll get a look again at Colton Lonecker, one of the state's leading rushers. Number 36, he's the tailback.
Look at the size of that backfield with Adams and Lonecker.
Dakota Adams, yeah, he's a load. Here's Helms giving the ball to Lonecker. Goes right up the middle as we suspected they would. He gets out to the 35-yard line, picks up 3.
And he was met immediately by a host of Miners. Looks like Rupska and Van Winkle, number 44. And really, Trent Val was in there as well. So that looked like 1 yard gain. It turned out to be about 2 or 3.
.9:42 on the clock, first quarter, 6-0 Miners. This is the first possession for North Davies. They're all bunched in. They don't have anybody split out wide. Backs are in the eye. Helms gives to Loneker. He tries the right side of that line and gets across the 35 and gang tackled around the 37.
Nowhere
He'll pick up a couple. Going to be 3rd and 5.
Franklin, Morris, and Johnson, the down 3 linemen, all right there. Still, they got a couple yards. Here's a big 3rd down play for the Cougars early.
North Davies did not attempt a pass last week. And they've only attempted 20 passes, I believe, all season.
8 of 20 is all he is.
Jet sweep. This is a jet sweep to the field. Tell him. Jet sweep to the field. Jet sweep to the field.
You can hear the Linton coaches maybe in the background here. There's a
nice play.
They're not going to get their first down at all. They did try that sweep.
Yeah.
And it was Turpin taking the handoff and trying to stretch it out toward the far sideline, and the Miners were very savvy to that.
Yeah,
he's lucky to get back to the 37-yard line, so a punting situation for North Davies, and that's a good news early here if you're a Miner fan, because Linton went right down the field and got a touchdown, and North Davies is going to go 3 and out.
Bays is going to punt the ball away, and a great play. Tried to sneak us with Turpin coming outside, but Goodman and Rupska both right there.
Eaton and Eberhard are back there, but the deep guy is Hayden. Hayden's going to catch the football at the 26, goes to the far side. Little jitter move, gets out to the 40, to the far sideline, and he's going to be denied the 45.
He's just dangerous, isn't he? I mean, the way he moves, it's just kind of a glide, and got that ball, like you say, the 26, and just without blinking an eye, he's out to the 42. Another nice field position situation for the Miners.
So change of possession here. The Miners have the football back. Linton leading 6-0, 8-12 mark of the first quarter. And Darren Clayton, I'm sure, comfortable there, back with his clipboard and his stats going. We'll get his report at the half and at the end of the ball game. Here's a handoff to Hale right up the middle. He takes a couple of white jerseys with him across the 45. They tackle him backwards to the 44. His forward progress is going to be up around the 46, so a gain of 4. 2nd and 6 coming up for the Miners.
And he took a pop, but he didn't go down. He kind of kept going forward. It looked like 42, Shannon Chesterfield's the one going to bring him down.
A no-huddle offense for the Miners. They have continued to utilize that. Again, the double wing formation. Rupska out of the shotgun, going to look to throw. He's throwing down the sideline to Stom. He makes the catch. He breaks a tackle at the 30, and he is gone.
Boom,
to
baby.
The 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown after Grant Stom broke that tackle. You knew he was going to score. He is just so much faster than everybody else on the football field, and the Miners strike with a 54-yard touchdown catch and run from Rupska to Stom, and it's a 2-touchdown lead early here for the Miners, and the wind has gone right out of the sails of this big North Davies crowd here in the first 5 minutes of the football game.
Again, Keith, it's what the MO for the Miners offense has been. They get ahead. Now, we can afford to let North Davies try to grind. I don't want to give out the big play, but, boy, Stom was wide open, and the safety, and I didn't catch who the safety was out there for North Davies, but he did not come close to getting Stom down, and I know that's what Coach is going to be upset about.
Miners going for 2. Rupska on a keeper, fights his way to the goal line, and he got in. A rushing 2-pointer for Dane Rupska, and that makes it at 7:32 in the first quarter, a 14-0 North Davies lead on the Graber Post Building scoreboard. Back in 30 seconds. This is a Media 5 sports production. $14-0 Miners. Our broadcast brought to you by Southside Express in Linton. Southside Express has everything you need when you're in a hurry, and they're locally owned and operated. You've also still got time to give Mike or Amy a call at Bobe Swit City. They're open till 8. Ask about their daily specials and their $10 Thursdays at Bobe Swit City.
Again, this is what North Davies did not want, is to get behind. Goodman with the kick.
High end over end kick. It's going to be fielded at the 15.
Turpin.
Turpin gets to the 35, the 40, and a nice return out to the 45.
Cox is on the tackle, number 2, but they're getting in behind their backs and getting low. They're not just sprinting up the field, and they have nice field position here.
Helms, their senior quarterback, Dakota Adams and Colton Lonecker, senior backfield. And we knew that Lonecker, as a sophomore a couple years ago, was going to be a dandy. And at that time, Dakota Adams was running the football a little bit more. Now he's just pretty much the fullback.
Yeah, he's carried 8 times this year. It's really, I think I figured it down to about 68% of their offense is Lonecker.
Turpin starts out and a tight end position. Now he's in motion to the far side. Helms gives to Lonecker, sizes up the line, tries the middle of the the Linton line, gets across the 45 and tackled around the 47. Going to be a short gain on the play. Picks up a couple out to the 47.
And that was Indy Miller there that come in and made the tackle. You know, and again, it's a couple-yard gain. This is what we saw last year. He got a lot of yards on us, but they were all of this variety. If we can keep him 2 or 3 or 4 and not give up the big one, we'll take that all day.
Again, their backs are in the eye. And the give is to Lonecker. Sizes things up, tries to go outside, and really met well at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
Drilled Hayden and Indy Miller
again. Well, that's a good hit by Indiana Miller that time with a big back like Lonecker coming right at you, and he stood him up.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big kid, and they got to hit him low, they got to wrap up, and what he's not used to seeing is several people there to make the hit. He can break one guy's tackle, but he can't break 4 or 5 guys' tackle.
3rd and 8 for North Davies. Will we see their first pass attempt? Helms going to roll to the near side, looking down the field. Open. He throws it short. It's incomplete.
In fact, if
off
Bays,
the fingertips of Doug Bays.
If he doesn't go for that, Keith, that looked like that was going to get in Steffi's hands.
So it's a 4th and 8 for North Davies.
Now they don't look like they're going to kick it, do they? Or we got a flag on the far side of the field, Keith. I believe we got a holding against
North Davies. It's declined by the Miners. That'll bring up 4th down in a punting situation.
Yeah, Bays is going to punt. Steffi was open there, but Helms had gotten free outside. We got a little containment problem, but Bays reached up and grabbed it with his arm, and the ball fell on the ground.
He'll kick from around his 35, high snap, but he gets the kick away, almost blocked by Indiana Miller, and there's Hayden with a catch, and he's tackled immediately at the 31.
Yeah, that's what you like about that, Keith. I mean, the fans are cheering the hit by Van Hendrijk, but the thing is Hayden knew if that ball bounced, it could bounce 10, 15 yards inside the 5-yard line. So he made the catch, took the hit for the team, and we still got the ball at the 21-yard line.
5:58 left in the first quarter on the Graber Post Building scoreboard. 14-0 early in favor of the Miners. They have scored easily on their first 2 possessions. This will be possession number 3, and North Davies has gone 3 and out their first 2 possessions. Miners working from left to right. Rupska out of the shotgun, double wing formation. He hands the ball to Hale. He tries the left side of the line. He gets a good run out on the play and still is not. Still fighting for yardage.
Ain't going down.
He never did go down. The officials blew the play dead.
Must have been 7 white jerseys hit him, stand him up, and he kept churning and
he
never
got out
went down.
To the 28. He picked up 7, and he never did go down. That is some really tough running by Austin Hale.
Dakota Adams is the first one to hit him, and those 2 were still standing at the end. You know, Coach Oliver said that, you know, when he runs like that, he's susceptible to getting hit because he holds up the pack, and everybody just kind of tries to tee off on him. Goodman coming out of the ball game from tight end. Officials finally going to blow the ball into play. Oh, we got to tie the shoe.
Yeah. Hale was tying his shoe. That stopped play momentarily. 5.5 minutes. Now the clock is moving. 2nd and 3 for the Miners. Their own 28. Again out of the shotgun. Rupska going to keep it himself. He gets a big hole up the middle. Breaks a tackle at the 40. Gets behind the defense. Is drugged down across the 50 at the 47 of North Davies. First down. There's a flag down at the 40-yard line of Linton, so this one's going to come back.
Nice big gain.
Maybe that's why there was such a big hole.
Might be. That erases a nice run by Rupska.
Or is it? North
No,
Davies
it's
is
against
not
North
moving
Davies.
back.
Wow.
Personal foul against North Davies, so the run goes all the way to the 47 of North Davies, and now 15 more yards going to be tacked on as the official comes over to explain to North Davies coach Scott Helms who did what.
And, you know, they had several of these penalties against North Putnam last week. Several of them. So I heard some people talking that they hoped it was a cleaner game, but clearly a little bit of unhappiness about how things are going. And
there's 5. Well, it's not going to be a 15-yard.
Well, it went from 47 to 32.
Yeah, it is 15 yards. And it's going to be actually at the 33-yard line after the penalty.
And now we have the triplets to the right.
3 receivers split wide to the near side for the Miners. The lone back is Hale. Back to throw. Rupska throwing towards Stom, and he's wide open. Makes the catch. Breaks the tackle again, and he's going to get down close to the goal line. He's drugged down at the 1. Again, Grant Stom with a catch broke the tackle. At that time, the Cougars were able to stay close enough to him to drag him down at the 1-yard line.
It's a shame he was almost in there, but whoever the kid is out there on that corner or safety is getting just schooled. It looks like he could just drill Stom. He's right there. Stom makes a stutter step. The kid lunges and he misses him. Boy, oh boy.
1st and goal at the 1 for the Miners. A chance to really throw a dagger here early in this football game.
Well, the passing game has really been the difference, Keith. 98 yards on 3 or 4 passing by Rupska.
Rupska over center, takes it right straight ahead and should have gotten in. He does. Touchdown, Rupska, his first rushing touchdown of the night. He's got a passing touchdown now as well. And for Rupska, that's his 7th rushing touchdown on the season.
I'm amazed at the start these Miners have had. I thought
it's been almost a perfect start.
I just am amazed at it. And I tell you what, one of the reasons we may not be seeing Kanguras, he was in the hospital yesterday with a stomach problem. He's out there tonight, but it may be that's causing him some trouble because he's done a real well job of kicking the last couple of weeks.
Here lately, he absolutely has, and the Miners are going to go for 2.
I can't imagine
leading 20-0 with 4:39 left in the first quarter. Rupska over center. They fumbled the snap, and 2-point conversion is denied. So on the Graber Post Building scoreboard, 4:39 left in the first quarter. Linton 20, North Davies nothing. Back in 30 seconds. This is a Media 5 sports production.
Wow. Wow.
I don't know if you can give us more volume, Rebecca, but we're having a hard time hearing the commercials. Thank you. Well, our broadcast is brought to you in part by Fleetwood Promotions, offering creative marketing and fundraising options for your business, club, or organization. Call Kim at Fleetwood Promotions. Anything you can put a logo on, any promotional item, apparel item, call 698-2013 or go online to fleetwoodpromotions.com. To the football game, high-end over-end kick, fielded by Bays at the 17.
Oh my
nice
goodness.
Tripped up and he fumbled the football. It's loose, but nope, the official said the ground caused the fumble, and that's not allowable. So North Davies would have kept the football anyway. I think they fell on it nonetheless.
Yeah. What a hit by Jace Herndon, number 41, and he's already
8-yard line. North Davies will take over 1st and 10, trailing 20-0. Don't forget, stick around after the game for the Bender Lumber postgame show. We'll have comments from head coach Brian Oliver, and we appreciate the sponsorship of Bender Lumber. There's a pitch back to Lonecker, tries to stretch it out, cut yardage all season.
He's had at least 260, 270 yards every week, and that time Paul Goodman, who is long enough with me to know that we relish these opportunities to face the running backs that have big numbers. Yeah, Steffi was open.
Andrew Steffi, the soft.
Our cornerback, and it's the exact play we saw before that Bays kind of tipped it with his hand. That time he had a big play.
So it's 3rd and 9 for North Davies from their own 29.
And they're 0 for 2 so far. They dearly love to get a first down, and now they got Bays and Steffi out.
They split A couple of guys out
and Jordan
to
Allen
the far
down
side. Yeah, Allen to the near side.
He caught a 50-yarder.
They faked the handoff to Loneker, and Helms is rolling, scrambling, throws it across the middle, incomplete, almost intercepted by Hayden. He saw that one coming from a mile away.
Boy.
And almost came up with the interception. Hayden's got 4 interceptions to lead the team this season already.
And pressure from Indiana Miller, again, who has done a great job. He
Well,
got around him, but boy, Hayden was this close.
Another 3 and out for North Davies, and that's kind of devastating here early with 3:42 left in the first quarter. And the Miners have scored at will their first 3 times of touching the ball. And North Knox is the opponent next week.
Oh, that was a good.
And
that was a good save there, Keith.
There's a punt by Bays and caught at the 41 by Hayden. He strings it out to the far side, gets to midfield. Little head fake, and he's down the sideline. He steps out of bounds.
Tackle by Coach Oliver.
Yeah, but a good run there by Hayden. North Knox. Also, I was going to compare them to North Davies being much improved this season, and I'm sure they're really gearing up for Linton next week. They've got Duggar tonight, which should be an easy win, honestly, for North Knox. But that'll be interesting to see the North Knox team on the road next week because they're gaining some attention and some notoriety.
Well, they fought North Central down to the wire, ball down to the 38-yard line.
Their own 38, or rather from the North Davies 38. The Miners have it. Rupska gives the ball to Hale right up the middle. Lots of yardage and flags coming down around the 25-yard line. So he's going to be close to a first down on the run, Austin Hale. This looks like it's going to go against North Davies as well.
Yeah, that was a pretty wicked hit on the helmet, and you saw flags fly from all over the place. And as you mentioned, North Knox, they really gave North Central all they wanted, and
just lost by 6.
Yeah, but a score of 20-0 in the first quarter has got to shock some of these teams that got Linton on the schedule coming up.
Football right now is resting at the 29-yard line, so apparently Hale. Nope, it's actually resting at the 26-yard line. So it was a first down run by Hale anyway of 12 yards.
Must have been a pretty wicked jerking of the helmet because you heard a lot of people yell and then a lot of flags fly. And, boy, that's another 15-yard penalty against that's actually 3 15-yarders against the Cougars already in this game.
This should take the football down close to the 11. And that's exactly where it's going to go, and North Davies is in a lot of trouble right now. So actually going to be resting at the 13, so that we're going to give Hale to the 28, Dan. That'll be Hale gets 10 yards on that carry. And the 15-yarder tacked on. The Miners are looking really good here at the 13-yard line of North Davies. Rupska hands to Hale. Big hole again up the middle. It closes quickly, but Hale keeps his feet moving. Gets down inside the 10.
Yeah, he took the initial hit, Keith, from Dakota Adams and kept churning forward.
Down to 3 minutes and counting here in the first quarter. Inside the 10, down to the 7. So a 6-yard pickup for Austin Hale.
Keith, he's already at 85 yards on 10 carries.
He was the leading rusher for the Miners coming into the game. Back to pass, Rupska throwing to the near side. It's knocked away. Nice play. The intended receiver was Eaton, and the defender out there was Reed, Jacob Reed, a sophomore, and he saved the touchdown.
Yeah, he very nearly could have picked that ball off, and that would have been nothing but sideline there.
So we've got 3rd and 3 for the Miners from the 7-yard line.
We haven't called Eberhardt's number yet, 21.
He's out there. He's in the slot. Hale up the middle. Gets across the 5, keeps fighting. Did he get in? No indication. Apparently stopped really close to the goal line, Austin Hale.
Looked like Lucas Bird, 47, was there with a host of other Cougars, but again,
it's a first down. It'll be 1st and goal.
He takes that second hit, but keeps moving forward. He's not going backwards at all. Just an excellent job, and I think he's going to have to come out with the shoe came off, and that's a shame. But look who comes in, though. It's Jace Herndon, who's made those big hits already.
Yeah, he deserves it. Give the ball to Herndon here.
Yeah, he deserves a shot at least.
He's played really well thus far. 2:08 And the clock is moving. The play clock is down to 8. First and goal from the 1 for the Miners. Rupska goes right straight ahead and should have gotten in. He does. His second rushing touchdown. Dane Rupska's second time. He just goes straight forward from the 1 yard line, and the Miners are going to go for 2 again. They lead 26-0 here late in the first quarter.
Angura must definitely not be able to go tonight. I just wanted Herndon to get that shot there. He was right there with him. He couldn't have told who had the ball. And coming back in the game now is Hale, and just an awesome, impressive start by the Linton Miners on both sides of the ball.
26-0 Miners, and they have scored each of the first 4 times they've touched the football. This North Davies defense has not been up, at least so far tonight, to the challenge from this high-powered Linton offense. And right up the middle goes Hale, and a nice stop.
How about blowing the whistle? Good Lord.
Loneker getting out a little frustration there as he takes Hale down, denies him of the 2-point conversion. Gives the North Davies crowd just a little bit to crow about right now with 1:56 left in the first quarter. It's 26-0. Linton leading North Davies on the Graber Post Building scoreboard. Back in 30 seconds. This is a Media 5 sports production.
I used to love that guy making a big hit. You're getting beat. You're getting smashed.
These levels are on the feedback from you, Rebecca, are really inconsistent. Some of the ads, they'll start out strong and then they just get really weak. It's just kind of shorting in and out, it seems like. Our broadcast brought to you by Francis Jewel Box in downtown Linton. Make sure you design a class ring that represents you and your unique personality. Stop in Francis Jewel Box, 145 Main, your hometown jewelry store, offering the best prices, service, and selection. And for a limited time, select styles of white Lazen rings from Gold Lance, just $149.95 at Francis Jewel Box. Kickoff, taken at the 15-yard line by Adams. He gets out across the 25 and stopped around the 30.
Goodman and I believe Trent.
He is a very big kid, Dakota Adams.
Well, I don't know that I've ever seen the Miner kickoff team as intense as they are tonight. I'm seeing red uniforms flying through the air.
Out across the 31, Adams takes it for North Davies. They'll have it 1st and 10, trailing 26-0. It's been all Miners. Yeah. On both sides of the football. North Davies yet to get a first down, I believe, Dan.
198 yards to 8 is what we've got. Three and outs for the Cougars.
Coach's son, Brady Helms, over center, gives to Loneker, looks right up the middle, and the same thing. He runs into a brick wall. May have pushed that wall a yard. And, of course, we knew North Davies how committed they are to running the football. And it's worked for them most of the season. And, a lot of the past several seasons, it's just not working for them tonight. This Linton defense is really fired up for this challenge.
Franklin and Rupsta, along with about 4 other red jerseys, he gets about a yard that time.
2nd and 9 coming up for North Davies. They're just really flat right now. You can just see it in their body language.
They've got to try to open it up with a pass. And there it is.
They're going to fake a handoff, and he is drugged by the jersey. He pitches it before he went down to Adams. They're still going to lose some yardage on the play. Helms refused to go down. One of the Miners had a hold of his jersey and stretched it all the way out like a rubber band. And he was able to shovel past the football to Adams to save a sack, but they still lose yardage.
Yeah, there were a host of Miners there. A nice play by Helms, just getting that ball out. Was that Adams 26?
It was.
Okay.
Completion for a loss.
Now, who was it that was in the backfield?
I couldn't tell. Yeah. At the 25-yard line, a loss of 7.
Big play again. Now they almost have to try to pass on 3rd and 16.
Late substitution coming in for the Miners.
Yeah, that's 64. That's going to be Braxton Lannon, a sophomore. They've been waiting for him to come around from an injury.
3 receivers for North Davies, 2 to the far side. Fake the handoff, and Helms is in trouble. He's going to have to run
There's a holding penalty.
He runs to the sideline, and he tries to pitch the ball back as he went out of bounds.
And we got a holding in the backfield.
He did not get the first down. And this does look like it's going to go against North Davies. At least the flag is in that general area. It is.
Andy Miller was right there. And
Miners probably will decline this, won't they, Dan?
You know, I would think they would, but they may not, because it'll be third and it'll be fourth and about 4 or 5. And that's a lot of yards for North Davies to try to pick up.
So the Miners are going to accept this penalty.
It pushes them way back, because the flag is down at about the 15-yard line.
So Coach Oliver's putting faith in his DBs and his linebackers to cover the upcoming pass play by North Davies, unless, as far back as they are now in their own territory, they're inside the 10-yard line. They're all the way back. They're all the way back 6 or 7 yard line. Wow. They're going to call it the 8-yard line. That's what's on the scoreboard.
They got to get out to the 41-yard line, Keith.
So they may just run the football here. This should be the last play of the first quarter, unless it's an incomplete pass. Helms over, center, backs in the eye. And Helms gives the football to Lonecker, and he gets out to the 10-yard line, and that's the end of the first quarter.
Rupska on the tackle.
On the Graber Post Building scoreboard at the end of 1, all Linton, 26-0 leading North Davies. Back in 60 seconds. This is the Media 5 Sports Production. Thank you. Sorry guys, I didn't have time to pick up pizza. $26-0 Miners at the end of 1 is our broadcast, sponsored in part by your friends at Highcom and Lions. They want to support the Miners in their Win 15 campaign by offering 15% off the cost of a new home security system. And they're not stopping there. Mention this commercial here on Linton Miners football and receive your first 6 months of monitoring for only $15 a month. Get more information, call Derek McKee for a free in-home evaluation at Highcom. You can go online also, call Highcom, HICOM.com. Punting from his own end zone is Doug Bays. He gets it out of there, a low line drive kick that's going to shift out of bounds around the 28-yard line. So the Miners have outstanding field position here, poised to get their 5th touchdown on their 5th try, and they've got a very short field in which to navigate that around the 28-yard line of North Davies.
I'll tell you, Keith, that might be one of the best first quarters I've seen in Linton football since I've been here. 198 yards to 3 for North Davies. This is an offense that has just put huge numbers on the board, and to be shut down like they have is just a testament to the Miners.
From the 29 of North Davies, Rupska back to pass, throwing deep, and it is caught inside the 5, short of the goal line, and that is Trent Vowell making the catch. And Vowell has become a dependable, reliable guy to throw to, his 6th catch of the season. And all the way down to the 2-yard line.
Yeah.
They're going to call it the 1. So a gain of 28 on the pass completion from Rupska to Vowell.
125 yards passing on 4 of 6. Just unstoppable. And Van Hendendrijk,
he's coming out for North Davies.
Yeah, and he's limping.
He's one of their better guys.
6 sacks, and he's coming out pretty gingerly.
First and goal for the Miners. Rupska out of the shotgun. Hale to his left. Give us to Austin Hale right up the middle. Touchdown. Well, and the Miners are up by 5 TDs early in the second quarter.
I'm almost in a state of shock at this Miner, the way they're playing tonight.
11:36 left in the first half, 32-0 Miners. So Hale gets his first touchdown of the night. And the Miners again will go for 2.
Well, they're not. Look, I mean, North Davies just barely getting guys even out on the field.
Rupska gives the ball to Hayden, stretching the play out, cuts it back inside and got in. Zane Hayden with a 2-point carry. And on the Graber Post Building scoreboard, 11:36 left in the first half. It's Linton 34, North Davies nothing. I'm Keith Dodds along with Dan Phillips. Back in 30 seconds. This is a Media 5 Sports production. Thank you. Well, right now, if the game were over and we were in our Bender Lumber postgame show, Brian Oliver would be tickled to death. And we invite you to stick around for that. Our postgame show brought to you by Bender Lumber on Highway 54 in Linton, serving all your building and repair needs. It'll be a good weekend. Tomorrow, get into Bender Lumber for all the things you need for the fix-up chores around the home or office. Kickoff by Goodman. Going to be fielded at the 15 by Dakota Adams. Out to the 25, and what a hit. Gets out across the 25 to the 27, and that was Paul Goodman who kicked it off. That really put the pop. We could hear that up here, Dan.
And I had the binoculars right on him. He got away from the first guy, and I'm telling you, a crunching hit from Paul Goodman dropped Adams right on these, right where he stood.
At the 27-yard line. North Davies at their own 27, and they are down 34-0. I don't know that anybody expected to see this.
I sure didn't.
And North Davies has not been able to move the football.
Well, they've got 3 yards in 4 series now.
They have not picked up a first down yet. There's the handoff to Loneker, looks up the middle. He gets a hold this time. There's a flag on the play. He's still on his feet and fumbles the football, and the Miners have it. He picks it up.
That's Val.
And Val is pushed backwards.
I don't know what's going on. The ball's all over the place.
The Miners have the football right now. It was a big hole for Loneker. I think he had a first down.
Yeah.
The best run that they've had. And then as Loneker, after the flag had already been thrown, Loneker kept his feet moving and then lost the football.
Yeah, and then it was Val that picked it up, and everybody was going everywhere. A flag is against North Davies, but the Miners, do they have possession? They decline.
Miners will decline, and they'll pick up the football. Linton will get the football back on the fumble by Loneker.
And I'm pretty sure Val is the one who picked it up. I have no clue where Loneker got there. It looked like they're out around the 40.
I think he got out to around the 38 or 9 yard line. Maybe, did he get across the 40?
Looks like they're right at the 40. So that's what I'm going to put down.
That's the 40-yard line. That's where Linton will have it. Another short field for the Miners. So North Davies turns the football over on the fumble. And we have a timeout being taken by the Cougars, and they are stunned right now.
Yeah, they certainly
11-14 left in the first half on the Graber Post Building scoreboard. It's 34-0. Linton all over North Davies. We'll keep it here to remind you that our broadcast is brought to you in part by Lions Health and Living Center, offering a highly skilled professional staff available 24 hours a day in a comfortable, compassionate environment. Retirement living has never been better. Contact Lions Health and Living for a personal tour. Call Melinda Barnhill at 659-1440.
Well, the other big game, Keith, in 1A tonight, Winnemac and West Central. Winnemac is the team that we flip-flopped a couple times with. Well, West Central, they're both conference mates, sectional mates, and I know that one is as big in the north as this one is in the south. And this score's got to. Of course, the people are going to say that North Davies' last couple wins have come against teams that are 0-10, but North Putnam gave South Putnam a little bit of a battle up there, and for the Miners to be so dominant, it has to show the disparity between the Miners and everybody else right now in this area.
And you mentioned South Putnam. They're one of the better 1A teams.
They put it to Greencastle, undefeated 3A Greencastle last week. Another surprise to me was Tell City putting it to Perry Central,
Yes.
and I didn't see that one coming.
33 or 34 to nothing.
Very, very big surprise.
Stom is split wide to the near side, Eaton to the far side. Double wing formation. Rupska in the shotgun. Another short field for the Miners from the North Davies 40. Back to pass, moving from right to left. Looking deep, throws it short, and it is caught at the line of scrimmage and no gain on the play as Eberhardt was the short man outlet on that play for Rupska, who took a really good long look deep before throwing it to Eberhardt short. No gain on the completion. 2nd and 10.
Well, that's not a bad play there, though, Keith. Rather than take the risk and throwing it, get it picked. I mean, you're up 34 to nothing, but no need to take chances like that. Nice dump pass. You got guys like Eberhardt and Hayden who can make something out of nothing on those plays.
Same formation. Here's the give to Eberhardt, running to the near side. Gets a hole. He's to the 30. He cuts to the outside, the 20. Angles to the end zone, and a touchdown for Mitch Eberhardt.
My goodness, the speed Eberhardt
40-yard run for Mitch Eberhardt as he gets into the end zone. His 4th rushing touchdown of the season, first tonight.
What did I say that we hadn't heard anything from Eberhardt? Back-to-back plays. Did you see the speed?
Yeah.
I mean, it looked to me like North Davies had him at the line of scrimmage. He broke a tackle, cut down the middle of the field to his right, outran 3 Cougars to the end zone.
Miners have had the football 6 times. They have scored 6 touchdowns. And we still have 10.5 minutes left in the first half of play. Going for 2 again are the Miners out of the shotgun. Rupska takes the football, looks to throw, throws it to the end zone. Didn't get into. Yeah, he did get into the end zone, and it was caught out there by Bo Eaton. Bo Eaton with the catch, and on the Graber Post Building scoreboard, 10:27 left in the first half. Here at Roy Williams Field in Linton, it's Linton 42, North Davies nothing. Back in 30 seconds. This is a Media 5 sports production.
Holy moly. I guess I got to stop doubting the Miners.
I don't know how many more superlatives we can throw on top of this right now, Dan. It's early in the second quarter, and it's 42 to nothing. Linton leading North Davies.
And a 258 to 16 yard advantage for the Miners. Just a shocking first half.
I don't think anybody saw this one coming. High short kick this time by Goodman. It's going to be caught at the 31-yard line. And I think that's Bays out across the 35. Steffi 44, not 24. And he gets out across the 35 to the 37-yard line.
And Avery Gentry, number 31, got there. Bravery by Steffi because that ball was high, and I thought he'd catch it and get popped, and he's a big boy too.
Boy, knowing how competitive Scott Helms is, the head coach, longtime head coach at North Davies.
Oh, there's no way he saw this.
He's got to have some steam coming out from his shirt collar.
There is no way he saw this coming right here.
2 receivers, 1 to each side for North Davies. Backs in the eye, and Helms is out of the shotgun this time. He's going to give the football to Turpin, and he's going to get maybe short yardage on the play. A couple of yards out across the 31. The officials looking right between the 43 and the 44, so the 38 and the 39.
What you got to love is that there are multiple Miners on these tackles. So the Cougar is down.
We'll give Turpin 2 yards on the carry, 2nd and 8. And the clock is stopped right now at 9:57.
2:58
for the injury timeout. One of the Cougars is lying on his back and not exactly sure what the injury situation is, but Scott Helms goes out to take a look. And North Davies has Wood Memorial. North Davies has Wood Memorial coming up next week on the road, and Linton will be at North Knox next Friday night.
The Warriors got to be, North Knox is getting more respect. They got a good team out there that just have not been able to
win the close games against the good teams.
5-0. I mean, they had Sullivan at the 1, North Central. That game could have gone either way. You can't underestimate North Knox.
On the Graber Post Building scoreboard, 9:57 left in the first half. It's 42-0 in favor of the Miners. Let's take a 30-second timeout. We'll be back after this.
Number 55, and he's a junior, 6'3", 250, and he's not coming off on his own power. The Stowell, I'm not how you pronounce that. I believe they're brothers, 77, 72, helping him off, but he doesn't look like he's going to be back anytime soon.
No, he's not putting any weight on his right foot.
And let's just hope that he's not a season type of thing. But
2nd and 8 coming up for North Davies from their own 39-yard line. They're moving from left to right, and they're down 42-0. With still almost 10 minutes left in the first half.
And as I look down on the sideline, Keith, I don't see the Van Hindendrijk kid, number 4, who came out earlier.
Yeah, he's right down here.
Right in front of my face. It looks like he's trying to put pressure down. So it's bad enough when you get down 42-0. You start having players go down. That makes it really rough. I give it to North Davies' fans, Keith. They're still.
Yeah, they're trying to bring their team around. They know there's still a lot of football to be played. And not too many teams have scored 42 points on the Miners, though, and they'll have to score at least 43 at this point to get the win. That's going to be a tall task. Helms is out of the shotgun. They haven't used this formation much this year. Fakes the handoff to Lonergan, and he's running for his life to the far sideline. Throws short, and it's batted up in the air and incomplete. Would have been close to a first down, but that wasn't even close to being caught by a Cougar. It was closer to being caught by the Miners.
I'm not sure who that was, number 9, maybe Gingrich or Adams, but pressure again by Rydell, number 56.
I'm not sure that Helms is going to be able to stay back in that pocket and throw the football tonight because the Miner rush has just been too dominant.
He gets around him, so I know the coaches are going to be at him at the ends about letting him get outside, but the pressure forces him out of there. He'd be running for his life, and Helms in the small dude. He's 6'2", 205 pounds.
3rd and 8 for North Davies in their territory at the 39. Helms going to give the football to Lonergan, and he's tackled in the backfield, and the flag comes down.
Indy Miller, Paul Goodman in the backfield.
Lonergan may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but again, really good penetration. This is a holding call against North Davies, and we'll see if the Miners decline this penalty, and I believe they will, forcing a punt from the Cougars. No?
Maybe not. Boy, a lot of big penalties on North Davies. Nope,
they do decline. Miners decline the penalty against North Davies.
Just dominating.
Well, they've been penalized a lot here in this first half, Dan.
That would have been 4 15-yard penalties right there.
And that's frustration on the part of the offensive line. They've just not been able to stop the Miners, so they reach out and grab and hold.
They have not got a first down in this contest, and this is a team that just blew over North Putnam last week. Granted, North Putnam was winless, but that's a 2A program that's pretty storied.
Kick by Bays toward the near sideline. It's going to drift way out of bounds. It bounces on the track, and the officials have a hard time sorting this out. And the official is going to say it's going to stay in North Davies territory at the 48-yard line. So the Miners, again, have tremendous field position.
And I think Bays is rushing it because I'm seeing, again, 4 or 5 Miners, within 3 yards of when he punts the ball.
So the Miners have had it, the football I'm referring to, 6 times, and each time they have struck pay dirt for 6. They've added up enough 2-point conversions to get it to a conventional 42-0 score. Give is to Hayden, who stretches the play out to the far side. He's got the sideline. He's all the way down to the 20. Keeps on his feet, and he's going to get into the end zone.
We got a penalty at the snap, so that's coming back.
There's a touchdown by Hayden on a tremendous run by Zane, but unfortunately the flag is going to bring this one back. Illegal shift against the Miners, and that was the man in motion was Hayden, and he's the guy that took the football and ran it 48 yards for a touchdown, but it's going to be called back.
Hey, you know, I don't pick to pick fun at Zane, but we talked about this in the locker room about some of his punt returns over his 4 years that have been called back because of penalties. Just kind of joking with him. And here, I can't wait to see him after the game and say, oh, I jinxed you. That was a pretty run. He came from the left side to the right and outran everybody for 46 yards.
That would have been his second touchdown tonight also.
That might have sealed his player of the game if he'd have gotten that one too. Now the Cougars call timeout.
So the Cougars of North Davies referring to, when I say they have called their second timeout. 9:11 left in the first half on the Graber Post Building scoreboard. Linton 42, North Davies nothing. I'm Keith Dodes along with Dan Phillips. You're listening to Linton Miners Football on WQTY Linton and WQTYradio.com. It's produced by Media 5 Sports. Back in a half a minute. Where the Miners will be 1st and 15 now from their own 47 after the 5-yard penalty.
North Central 29-14 over Eastern Green at the moment.
Rupska going to throw the football right over the middle. Caught by Hayden, and he's going to take it all the way in. He was wide open in the middle of the field, and no one from North Davies came within 5 yards of Hayden all the way to the end zone.
Holy moly, folks, was that wide open. And Hayden is fired up. That's as much emotion. That's about as much emotion as I've seen out of that kid. Look at him.
53-yard touchdown pass and catch from Rupska to Hayden. Zane Hayden does get his second touchdown of the evening. And, boy, these Miners have blown this football game wide open, 48-0, and we've still got 9:03 left in the second quarter.
That was just an unbelievable play. You felt he just ran a 47-yard touchdown call back, and I can't believe how wide open he was.
Going for the 2-point conversion. There's a flag on the play already as Rupska is drugged down at the 7-yard line, so that didn't go anywhere, and we've got an illegal shift against the Miners.
That'll be declined.
And it's declined by North Davies, so the 2-point try fails. And on the Graber Post Building scoreboard, 9:03 left in the half. It's Linton 48, North Davies nothing. Back in 30 seconds. This is a Media 5 Sports production. Well, the twos or the deuces are wild right now. Hayden gets his second touchdown. It's the second touchdown pass of the night for Rupska. Rupska also has 2 rushing touchdowns. So Rupska, 2 rushes, 2 passes, and the Miners 48-0 here. Couldn't even call this middle of the second quarter yet. 9:03 left to play in the first half.
311 total offense for the Miners, 17 for the Cougars.
Nice kick this time by Goodman. It's fielded, and his knee was down at the 16-yard line.
Adams raised his hand up, and that's a fair catch call. I think it was just a block in the air.
Actually, it was Bays who made that catch. And the football will be resting at the 20-yard line. Scott Helms is wanting an explanation, but the ball was picked up right at the ground.
Yeah.
By Bays, and maybe his knee was down when he picked it up. The officials are getting together to talk about it, but it's not going to matter because the whistle blew, and even if it's an inadvertent whistle.
I agree with you because I saw Adams raising his hand, and if Bays was the one that caught it, I bet his knee hit the ground.
So the Cougars will have it. North Davies 1st and 10 at their own 20 with 8:58 left to play in the first half. And a stunned North Davies crowd down below us here on the visiting side of the field just below our press box. They brought a huge delegation of fans. They've got a big turnout from their student body.
And the Miners as well. And everybody expected this to, I mean, this is as many people as I've seen in some of the sectional tilts. The south end zone is 4 or 5 deep. But just what a showing by the Miners. I'm not sure what they're doing. Going to re-kick perhaps.
Yeah, I guess that's what's going to happen. We're going to re-kick. I'm not sure exactly why.
We've seen our fair share of errant whistles this year, Keith.
So the Miners will re-kick. From their own 40, Goodman will tee it up again. So we'll take a mulligan on that.
Yeah. No harm, no foul, other than the ball was at the 20.
They have a female kicker.
Yeah, they do.
We haven't had a chance to see her yet. End-over-end kick going to be fielded at the 25-yard line. That's Dakota Adams. He gets out across the 30 to 35. And again, a swarm of tacklers. 1st and 10 coming up now for North Davies. In their own territory around the 35-yard line.
Trent and Van Winkle and another Miner were down there. It just put a huge hit on Adams. I got to admit, I didn't think Adams would be the one returning kicks. He's a big boy.
From their own 36 is where North Davies will take over, trailing 48-0 here at homecoming for Linton at Roy Williams Field. Miners will be on the road the next 2 weeks. Next Friday, conventional 7 o'clock kickoff at North Knox. 2 weeks from tonight, all the way up north of Indianapolis to Sheridan. Will kick off at 8 o'clock on the air at 7:30 that night. 3 receivers, 2 to the near side. Out of the shotgun, man in motion is Turpin to the near side from Helms. He rolls, throws it into the slot, and it's incomplete. It was going for Dakota Adams at the 35. He would have been well covered by Rupska.
And he was, I think the ball was, might have been tipped by Dylan Morris, not 100% sure. Loneker lined up all the way spread to the right side and ran deep.
That was one of the things that we really liked about being at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Yeah.
We could see if it was tipped on a replay. Where's our stream tonight? LintonMiners.com. You can watch the ball game at LintonMiners.com. Is that right? LintonMiners.com with a live stream feeding our radio play-by-play audio. Again, 2nd and 10.
Same play.
Helms is going to keep it this time. He's hit in the backfield and sacked at the 30.
Zach Johnson got back there and got him. Don't know that that wasn't a designed run play, but I'll mark it down as a sack by Zach Johnson, number 60.
48-0 in favor of the Miners.
Well, that's a 6-yard loss. As I look now at the total yards, that drops them to 11 in this first half. And I know we got some guys listening and watching the live video stream across the nation.
81-20 was the score in the regular season in favor of the Miners 2 years ago.
I think we've scored every time we've touched the ball.
Have scored a touchdown. The Miners definitely have. We've got a stoppage of play, and North Davies is going to call their 3rd and final timeout of the half with 7:57 left in the first half. On the Graber Post Building scoreboard, Linton 48, North Davies nothing. I'm Keith Dodes along with Dan Phillips. We'll be joined at halftime by Darren Clayton, and we will return after this 30-second timeout. Miners football is produced by Media 5 Sports. We're well into the second rotation, aren't we? A reminder that all football season and all basketball season to come, tune in after each contest for the Bender Lumber postgame show. Bender Lumber, Highway 54 in Linton, serving all your building and repair needs. We'll have coaches' interviews all season long. Be interesting to hear what Coach Oliver has to say about this one, leading 48-0 midway through the second quarter.
He's got to be one proud coach right now with the way this kids have come out and played tonight.
3rd and 16 for North Davies from their own 30. And there's a whistle and a flag as there's procedure against the Cougars. Looked like they may have had a couple of guys in motion at the same time, and that's a no-no.
Looking out there to see who might be in the game for 55. Now they're talking quite a bit out there. Lindy was injured, and he's on the visitor's bench with looks like his ankle is iced up.
The illegal procedure, officially the call against North Davies, pushes them back to their own 25-yard line. This drive started at their own 36. A sack and now a penalty, and it's 3rd and a long way, 3rd and 21.
Well, that locker room is going to be enthusiastic, but I know the coaches will try to keep them to understand there's still more quarters. Again, Lonaker comes way out to the right. Allen's all the way to the other side.
3 receivers for the Cougars, and they've had to try to throw the football more than they have all season. In trouble is Helms. He's running for his life to the near side, and he just throws it out of bounds. Smart play by the senior quarterback, although he still got hit.
He did. Van Winkle. At first it was Indy Miller, then it was Van Winkle. Just nowhere for him to go.
Helms has had no time to pass the football. He's run for his life almost every time he's gone back into pass formation.
Well, it's either Rydell or it's Indy Miller, or in that case, Van Winkle.
The Miners once again are going to come away with tremendous field position, already leading 48-0 with 7:50 to play in the first half. Bays to punt. Here comes the rush. He gets the kick away. It's a nice high kick, but it's fairly short. Going to bounce at the 50. It hit one of the Cougar players, I thought.
Yeah, it looked like it caught Lonaker.
Yeah, and the officials didn't see it.
This guy did up here.
Oh, okay, when the guy on the far side did see it. Touch the Cougars first, and Linton will have it at their own 45-yard line. 1st and 10. And North Davies, I'm going to say, Dan, still does not have a first down. Is that correct?
Do not have a first down, Keith, and have just 11 yards. I'm just amazed by the effort by the defense and the offense.
Here are the Miners and the double wing formation at their own 45, already leading 48-0. Out of the shotgun, no huddle. Eaton split wide to the near side. Here's a give on a counter play to Mitch Eberhardt, and he has stopped for a 1-yard gain. That's one of the few times that the Cougars have really been up to the challenge there.
And it's also the first time we've called Alston Markle, that freshman linebacker, 27. That's their second leading scorer.
So the freshman has a lot of tackles this season?
Yeah, he's got 43, and Steffi has 44, the two linebackers. I've noticed actually Lonaker was out there playing linebacker.
Double wing formation again. Hale is to the right of Rupska. Hayden is in motion. The give is to Hale. He goes up the middle. He's at midfield. He breaks a tackle. He's to the 40. He gets behind the defense to the 30. Stops, tries to cut inside, and he's brought down around the 20-yard line. A flag at the spot of the tackle.
I think we got
maybe a face mask again.
Doug Bays is going to save the TD, but probably got his hand in the face mask unless they get Eberhardt for pushing down there. Boy.
34 yards on the run he'll get credit for, and then the Miners will tack on a few more yards here on the penalty.
Wow. Well, gosh, I see how many yards we got for Hale. I have him at 8 carries and 82 yards. I might be wrong on it.
Are they going to pick up the flag? Nope. Actually, they're going to spot it off from the 19, so give him an extra yard, Dan. It's only going to be 5 yards.
Inadvertent.
So across the 15 down to the 14-yard line.
Cougar fans cheering for Brody Lindy being taken off on the cart. Definitely got an ankle problem. I just hope he's okay. He's a junior.
Miners first down deep in North Davies territory. Rupska back to throw. Throws to the near side. It's caught at the 10 by Eaton, and he is brought down short of the 5, around the 7-yard line. So a gain of 7 for the Miners.
Turpin on the tackle, number 33.
2nd and 3 for Linton. Down to the left end of the field. Guess that would be the north end of the field, is that right?
Yes.
Again, out of the shotgun. Give is to Hayden. He sizes things up, and
nice
he
move.
makes a cut.
Gosh.
Gets across the end zone. Touchdown. He lost the football, but he'd already scored, and Zane Hayden having himself quite a night.
Well, there's not a guy in a red uniform out there not having a heck of a night. Zane Hayden, dipsy-do. Looked like he was going to cut inside, then juked outside, goes in from 9 yards out.
His 3rd touchdown of the night. Hayden has 2 rushing, 1 receiving touchdown.
Here's Ken Gura going to go for the kick.
This is his 2nd try tonight. The first was blocked. Here's the hold. Kick is up. The kick is good, but there's a flag down.
Nice kick by Ken Gura.
This is probably going to have to be re-kicked, or Miners are running off the field. They're going to pick the flag up. So Kangura gets the extra point on the Graber Post Building scoreboard. 5:50 left in the first half. All Miners. Linton, homecoming, leads 55-0 over North Davies. Back in 30 seconds. This is a Media 5 sports production.
Goodness gracious.
.550 left in the first half, 55-0. Linton leading here at home over North Davies. And the Cougars have yet to get a first down and just have not been able to generate any offense. Caught at the 15-yard line by Dakota Adams, and he gets about a 10-yard return out to the 35. A couple years ago, Adams was running the football, not as much as Lonaker, but he was running the football considerably more than he is this year.
Well, Lonaker is the logical choice there. But
I got you.
North Davies will have it again at their own 35. They've started right around that 25 to 35 yard line area most of the evening, but they've just not been able to go anywhere. Still looking for their first down. And Brady Helms in the traditional over center with the backs in the eye, and Turpin in motion to the far side to give his to Lonaker. They're trying the basics. He goes right up the middle, has a nice gainer out across the 40 and out to the 41-yard line.
He's just had a couple times where he's seen some opening. Val's going to make the tackle, 43, but that's really his best carry.
There's a flag down at the point of the tackle also. The official picks it up and puts it in his pocket, but they're talking to North Davies. The officials are. This is going to go against North Davies.
A holding penalty. That may be why he got out there.
At the point of the tackle. And it's going to go backwards.
Boy, a ton of penalties on North Davies tonight. To the 26, it looks like.
Back to the 26-yard line is where this will go. They're going to lose 9 on the play. So you'll give Lonaker actually 1 yard before the holding call came in.
7 penalties, 88 yards unofficially.
Here's a pitch to Lonaker. Tries to stretch it out to the near side to the 35 and run out of bounds, and a late hit out of bounds going to be called against the Miners.
Come on, official. Boy, if he's going to get 15 yards for that, he should have put a hit on him.
Hayden was one of those guys there, and Val was down there. I'm not sure which one actually wound up making the tackle out of bounds. That was pretty close.
Yeah.
At the 35-yard line, and this will give North Davies now their first down of the night, and it'll be by a penalty. But Scotty Helms has told his team, let's go back to the basics. Let's just work on what we do. We're down 55-0. Let's just go back to North Davies football, and that's what they're trying to do right now.
There's nothing else you can do, and nothing's working. It's 55-0 Linton, and ball out to the 50-yard line.
So it's a first down for the Cougars at midfield, their first down of the night.
Well, I'll take that kind of penalty any day because Rupska was chasing him down, and I don't know how you're supposed to stop. He hit him in a clean fashion. So
Helms over center. Turpin in motion to the near side. The give is to the tailback, Lonecker. He's got a small hole up the middle, and he carries the football across the 50 down to the 47.
Just a gang tackling is what the Miners are bringing to the table. Just a whole bunch of guys getting off the pile. 78 Morris, 50 Van Winkle. I could name any of those guys as the tackler. Austin Hale in the ball game, looks like at linebacker now.
5 minutes left in the first half. Linton 55, North Davies nothing. Miners have scored a touchdown every time they've touched the football. North Davies has fumbled once. That's the only turnover of the night. The Miners have played flawless football until that penalty there on the hit out of bounds. More of just a tackle out of bounds. There's Lonecker trying to stretch it out to the far side. He's in trouble in the backfield, and he's run out of bounds over on the far sideline near the 45 of Linton. He may have gotten a yard or two, depending on the spot. The official looks like he's going to back it off to, well, the 47. It's going to come back to the line of scrimmage. So
great play out there by Paul Goodman. Took the hit. Didn't make the tackle, but forced Lonecker to kind of stop and kind of go to his left, and that's when Zane Hayden came in from safety, just what you want. And he didn't make the tackle, but he got him out of bounds, and really no gain.
3rd and 7 with 4.5 minutes left in the first half. Helms over center, going to give the ball to Lonecker. Sizes up the line, nice hole up the middle, pushes the pile forward, gets down to the 40, across the 40 to 39. And he should have a first down.
Well, that's the first viable first down, and they'll keep chugging with him. I think that's 12 carries I've got for him.
Clock will stop just long enough for the chains to get reset at the 38-yard line, we'll call it. So he actually picks up 9 on the play. One of the better runs for Lonecker tonight. He, at one point this season, was the state's leading rusher.
He had nearly 1,400 yards in just 5 games.
Here's a fake handoff. Helms throws over the middle, and it's dropped again by Bays. Helms has been on target maybe 2 or 3 times, and the Cougars have just not done a good job, their receivers, of catching the football.
Not getting any help from his receivers, that's for sure. That's 2 drops
tonight.
That
could come from some of the bigger hits that they've taken so far here in the first half. They might hear footsteps. Bays that time, he was wide open.
Dump right across the middle. He would have taken a pretty good hit.
2nd and 10. About 4 minutes left in the first half. 55-0. It was a nice play-action play there by the Cougars. Helms over center. Bays is in motion this time to give to Lonecker. He jukes to the near side and is drugged down at the 35. Yeah. Is that Trent Vowell at the 35. Nice tackle.
He tried to get him high. You don't want to go high on Lonecker, but he was able to pull him down. Nice tackle.
Picks up 3 to the 35. And it's 3rd and 7 for the Cougars. They're in Linton territory.
That's really the first. This is the first time these last few plays that they've been
across the 50.
Yeah. Bays lined up again, kind of at a wing back.
Backs in the eye, give to Lonecker. He is hit as soon as he gets the football, and he's dropped for no gain.
Indy Miller, 74, was one of the first ones there, along with Dylan Moore, 78.
4th down for North Davies with 2:55 left in the first half. Looks like the Cougars will go for it here.
Certainly.
With 4th and 6. Call it 4th and 5 here, as they're going to give Lonecker a yard. A couple of yards, maybe down to the 33.
And Steffi now is in at the fullback position, 44.
4th and 5.
Watch for him getting the handoff. Nope, going for the pass.
Look to pass over the middle, intercepted by the Miners.
I think that's Rupska.
And Rupska stays on his feet. He's finally brought down. Dane Rupska with the interception. Second turnover of the night. A fumble and now an interception by North Davies. And that is Rupska's first interception of the season.
14th for that, really for the Miner defense. Went to the well too many times that time, Keith. They saw that one coming.
So the Miners will have it now at their own 33. First down. 2:21 left in the first half. Miners in the double wing formation. Rupska, who just made the interception, going to hand the football off to Eberhardt. Tries the near side. He's across the 35 and brought down at the 36. Gain of 3. 2nd and 7 for Linton. Has all 3 timeouts left. Cougars have used their 3 timeouts already. We don't get a 2-minute warning or we'd be a couple of seconds away from getting it right now in the high school game. 2 minutes left in the first half. Miners are taking their time, not getting in any hurry here.
No. And I see he's got some different guys in there. Darren Raber, number 2, is in it. Defensive back.
Stom split wide to the far side. There's a double handoff play to Hayden, and he's hit in the backfield. And a loss on the play. That play has really not worked too many times this year. Just seems like it takes forever.
Not as good
for
as
it to happen.
Gingrich is going to be one back there, number 9, along with 57, Brayton Long. And that's one
now the Miners get to the line quickly. They lose 2 yards on that play. It's 3rd down.
First negative rush play of the game. They got them all sides.
And Rupska with the hard snap count. And the Cougars are going to go back 5 yards. Offside. That's going to make it 3rd and 3 now instead of 3rd and 8.
Well, that's nearly 100 yards and penalties, Keith, for the Cougars tonight.
Takes the football out to the 39-yard line of Linton, moving from right to left. And it's 3rd and 3 with 1:15 left in the half. Linton leading 55-0. Rupska fakes the handoff to Eberhardt, rolls to the far side, throws it out in the flat and caught for a first down around the 44-yard line.
That looks like Hale.
It is 24 Austin Hale with the catch. Clock will stop with exactly 1 minute left in the first half. Out to the 44-yard line. So that 5-yard penalty helped because the Miners got 5 yards there. That was just enough.
And I like seeing the execution. Just 42 seconds and counting in the half.
Double wing formation. The Miners, no huddle. Stay in the shotgun. Bobbled handoff, but it goes to Hale. Tries the far side of the line, gets across the 45 to the 47, so a gain of 3. But that might be the last play of the first half unless the Miners line up in a hurry.
Yeah, I look for them.
They would not have to run a play here.
I look for them to try to air it out to get Stom out there for big play.
Gain of 2 at the 46. 8 seconds left in the half. Miners are going to get a play off here. Rolling to the near side is Rupska. Throws it short, and it's incomplete. Through the hands of Hale, and then Eberhardt wasn't able to bring it in either, and that's the end of the first half. Well,
what can you say?
Enough points that this ball game could be over, but we're just at halftime, and on the Graber Post Building scoreboard at halftime, Linton 55, North Davies nothing. We'll be back after this 2-minute timeout. This is a Media 5 sports production.
Wow.
Oh. Where's that pizza?
Where are them breadsticks at? I did not see this come. Maybe you better drive in from Bloomington every week, Keith.
Yeah, I could get into this, just show up at 7 and broadcast the game.
I know how I feel when I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Brian's not nearly as.
Field in Linton, and all I got to say is those are some awfully pretty dresses. There's some people have shelled out a lot of dollars.
There's some glitz going
for those
on down
gowns.
there.
Yep. So I'm not sure who the potential homecoming queen and king are going to be, but boy, they are.
That must be
dressed to the nines.
The end thing, Keith,
yeah.
is glitter, because that is some serious glittering going on.
Well, we're at halftime of this high school football game in week number 6, and it has been all Miners, 55-0 at the half.
You know, it's a good game, Keith, and we're talking about halftime and gowns on the radio. But, Darren.
It's either really good or really bad.
We did this talking into the pregame, and, I expected the Miners to come out and play. There's no way I expected the performance we're seeing tonight.
No, it's been really great on both sides of the football. From all everywhere.
Yeah.
There's really, I don't know what coach could possibly be telling them at halftime. I'm sure he's going to find something to make sure they stay focused in the second half and continue to play the way they did in the first half. But it was an outstanding first half for the Miners.
Looks to me like the only thing that stopped us was the clock. It ran out of time. We've scored every time we've had the ball short of the end of the half there. Big numbers by really every Miner that's touched the ball, particularly Austin Hale, a good passing night. Give us these big numbers. This is a huge number at halftime against a strong North Davies defense.
Yeah, the Miners rack up really balanced. 183 yards on the ground. Austin Hale, 9 carries, 87 yards. Mitch Eberhardt, 3 carries for 46. Zane Hayden, 4 for 23. Dane Rupska, 4 for 27. They've all been solid carrying the football, 183 total. And then passing, Dane, 8 out of 11 for another 189. And the Miners have 372 here at the half. And
wow.
Receiving-wise, 6 different receivers have caught the football. Trent Vile, 1 catch for 28. Grant Stom, 2 catches for 86. 1 catch for Zane Hayden for 53 yards. A nice touchdown play. Boy, oh boy, that was a pretty play over the middle.
All right, I believe me or you might have been able to score. We might have run out of gas, but Zane gets the touchdown call back on the play before, and then that's as wide open as I've seen anybody. And the Miners look incredibly fast out there. Is it as fast on the field as it looks up here?
Yeah, it really is. They're getting to the ball really quickly on defense, and the offense is hitting on all cylinders. And I don't know any details, but my dad was talking to Coach Jennings there, defensive coordinator Mark Jennings, and talked about some adjustments we made this week, and it looks like North Davies having a hard time handling them so far.
Oh, I'd say we're winning the battle up front for sure. Offensively, North Davies, this is a team that's put up just humongous numbers, 250-plus yards for Lonaker a game. He's been hammered. He's had maybe 2 carries of 5 yards or more. One of those he fumbled on.
Right, yeah, the 19 yards on the fumble has really been his big carry of the night, and that's what bumped his yardage up a little bit. Other than that, it's just been grinded out. He's got 16 carries, 57 yards is what I have him for. Yep. And nobody else is able to do anything. They're -7 through the air. They've only completed 1 pass for 9 yards, and that was 1 out of 9 attempts, and that was for 7 yards the wrong direction. They've only got 45 yards at halftime,
wow.
and it's just been really incredible of how we've stopped them.
Being down on the field, is the emotion as high as it looks? Because this is the most rabid I've seen the kickoff team ever.
Yeah, it really is. The kids are pumped up on the sideline. They want to continue this into the second half.
Sure.
It'll be interesting to see how Coach Oliver handles it, because I'm sure they'd like to pitch a shutout, but at the same time, I'm sure when push comes to shove, they're going to get the JV out on the field and give them an opportunity to play in this football game here on homecoming tonight. But I'm sure they'd like to pitch that shutout.
Well, I would think that you're going to see varsity for 3 quarters. That's what we've seen all year. And at this point, you just want them to be able to run the offense, come out strong, not get any injuries. North Davies has already had a couple kids go down the injury. But I don't know what else to say, Darren. I know in the pregame we really were marveling at how big North Davies was. And It's just such a surprise how Miners have dominated the game.
Yeah, speed's definitely taking care of the big guys tonight, and I look for more of it in the second half. I think Coach will go in there at halftime and keep them focused, and I think they're hungry to – I think really they'd like to have held Loniger to less, but I think if they can hold him under 100, I think they're going to be really happy.
I agree with you. Darren, thanks for making the effort to come up here, and we'll see you after the contest with the game-ending stats.
Okay, thanks, guys.
That's Darren Clayton with a look at stats, and we are at halftime. It's homecoming here at Roy Williams Field, and we've yet to learn whether it's Carly Boo, Briley Parker, or Brenna West will be our homecoming queen, and the homecoming king as well, I guess, will be crowned. We never had to used to worry about a homecoming king, but always just the queen.
Well, we got Title IX, now, so we got to have the male guy as well. So,
but on the Graber Post Building scoreboard at the half, it's Linton 55, North Davies nothing. We'll be back with more after a 3-minute timeout. This is a Media 5 sports production. 3 minutes, please. Thank you.
Boo is the name.
Oh, we congratulate Linton senior Carly Boo. She's been crowned homecoming queen, a nice young lady that also plays on the basketball team. We'll have plenty of high school basketball for you starting in early to middle November. A full slate of games, at least 90 basketball broadcasts again this season. This will be our 5th year for Media 5 Sports to be the chief producer of Greene County High School football and basketball broadcasts. And Darren Clayton, who helped get the broadcast on the air tonight and gives us the stats at halftime and at the end of each Linton football game, will again get a lot of action, play-by-play chair during the basketball season. But right now, Dan, we're at week 6 of the high school football season, and right now I'm sure Brian Oliver is hoping that this isn't the peak for his Linton Minor season.
It's by far the best they've looked. They looked pretty good last week, Keith, but missed a couple of pass plays here or there. We were worried a little bit about some of the penalties that occurred. Really, just the one tonight down here, that procedure call. Other than that, they've been spot on. They've converted the third downs. One negative play is all I have them at. I don't know what else you can say about that first half. That might have been one of the best first halves that I've ever seen Minor football on both sides of the ball, and the kicking game just outstanding.
Zane Hayden has been the star of the first half at least. Hayden has 2 rushing touchdowns, another touchdown on the receiving end. Rupska's thrown 2 touchdowns. Let's see. Who was the other guy that caught the touchdown pass? It was
Stom's got a 54 and
right.
Hayden's got a 53.
Rupska to Stom was the second score of the evening that put the Miners up 14-0 after a 2-point conversion. And then Rupska connected with Hayden on a 53-yard pass catch and run that put the Miners up 48-0. Linton led at 26-0 at the end of one quarter, and the Miners scored the first 4 times they touched the football in the first period. They scored the next 4 times they touched the football as well in the second quarter before they were finally stopped short of the goal line, and that was because the clock ran out in the first half.
There was no sign we were going to not go down the field. Couple quick scores for you. You believe you said North Knox was up 56-0 over Duggar, and it's 45-20 North Central over Eastern Green at the half. And of course,
wow, a lot of points being thrown up there tonight.
A lot of points being scored, and North Central folks got to be thinking, good Lord, look what Linton's doing to North Davies. Granted, they won by 21, so that sets up a Week 9 tilt. Gosh, Keith, we've got North Knox next week, and then we got that dreaded trip 2.5 hours up to Sheridan, and boy, that's going to really show us. The Blackhawks, the stellar 1A program, and they're beating the tar out of their other 1A teams that they're facing. So that's going to be a doozy, and it's a 2.5-hour ride on a Friday. So we'll see how that tests us.
And Sheridan has cracked into the top 10 now, as we suspected that they probably would. They're probably better than a number 8 or 9 team in the state. In fact, I think the Sagarin numbers have that game 2 weeks from tonight as a virtual toss-up right now with the Miners going on the road. But we spoke last week about these last 4 ball games for the Miners. All of them have some pretty solid implications and hype going into them, starting with this North Davies game. It hasn't lived up to the hype, 55-0 Linton at the half. But next week, North Knox, we looked at them early in the season. They're a dangerous football team. They've got Christopher Grauman back as their quarterback. He was out because of a concussion all last season, or virtually all last season. And Jordan Muir is really their kind of do-everything guy, offensively and defensively. So they've got an explosive team, and they've got some bigger kids, some experienced kids, and Sean McDowell's having a nice season. They've lost 2 close football games, one to Sullivan, one to North Central. Certainly nothing to hang their head about, but Coach McDowell I talked to him last night at North Knox, and he's a little disappointed that they're not 5-0.
They just can't get over the hump, and that's been the knock on the Warriors. And I heard Coach McDowell in their post game last week saying that they can compete. They've just got to learn to make the plays. And you mentioned Grauman. He's thrown 34 of 81 for 466. Long time since we've seen North Knox have any kind of a passing game. But the other side of this is Jordan Muir. He's got 490 yards rushing. He plays quarterback about 50-50. Austin Miller has 415 yards. So they've got the run and the pass as well. And Linton, next week could be one of those weeks where we have such an explosion here. Will there be any downside for the Miners going to face North Knox? I really can't imagine that, but it can happen.
Well, we talked about those final 4 football games in the regular season, starting tonight with North Davies. We've talked already about going to North Knox next week, going to Sheridan the week after, and then ending the regular season with North Central. And that's been a much ballyhooed football game the last couple of years. And, again, that's a game the last 2 years that has not lived up to the hype either, as Linton has dominated North Central each of the last 2 years, and they've had a fine football team the last couple of years.
We really thought going into last year's game at Lucas Oil that would really be a dogfight, much like I thought coming into Knightwood. And the Miners, like tonight, came out like banshees in that game. And, North Central's another one that they did beat North Davies. But they've not competed with us yet, and I know that's something that gets in their crawl. But North Vermilion's, that's another big game for them, and they hung for 3 quarters and then they lost it. But they'll be fired up, and clearly Bailey and Van Schoik are both great running backs, but the Miner defense has just answered the call whenever they've had to.
Recapping the scoring this football game, the Miners got the football first. Zane Hayden got into the end zone on a 14-yard touchdown run. After a North Davies punt, Miners scored again. Dane Rupska to Grant Stom, 54-yard pass play. After a North Davies punt, another 3-and-out. Linton scored again in the first quarter, a 1-yard run for Dane Rupska. 2-point conversion failed. And Rupska would take it in again on the Miners' next possession after a North Davies turnover. And his second touchdown run from 1 yard out. Miners led 26-0 at that point. In the second quarter, Austin Hale got in from the 1 yard line. After a North Davies fumble, I should say, the only fumble they've had was in the second quarter. Mitch Eberhardt scored on a 40-yard touchdown scamper. In the second quarter, we also had a 53-yard touchdown pass from Rupska to Hayden and a 7-yard touchdown run by Zane Hayden, who has found pay dirt 3 times, twice on the ground, once in the air, and the Miners lead at 55-0 at halftime. Jay Kangura, 1 of 2 for extra points. The first attempt was blocked, and then we didn't see him until the last score the Miners got in the first half when he was able to boot it through.
I'll tell you what, Keith, I was down on the field pregame, and he was booming these. They were clearing 20 yards past that concrete area down there, really doing the job. And, you know, we talked to Coach Oliver last week, and, you know, this is one of those nights where I think we could see him try to kick something from 20 yards or see what it is defensively.
I think we were going for about a 35-yard field goal attempt last week at Springs Valley, and I can't remember if it was blocked or bad. I think it was a bad snap. So Kangura never got an opportunity to kick that field goal last week.
I did ask him how to pronounce his name, and he said you can just call me Jay.
But that's what the coaches say.
But then he said Kangura, so I said we're doing it right.
Yeah.
Give props to Keith. They ought to get these two little young groups of Miners and Cougars, get them out there and let them go at it.
It would be like a peewee football game. Put some flags on their waist and
they're
have
going
a
at
flag football.
There are no flags, Keith.
Kids are out on the field
tackling
right now.
each other.
Yeah. So we're still a couple of minutes away easily from starting the second half. North Davies will get the football first. We'll take a timeout on the Graber Post Building scoreboard. Halftime homecoming at Linton. Carly Boo, the homecoming queen. It's 55-0 in favor of Linton, leading North Davies, and we'll be back in 2 minutes. This is a Media 5 sports production. $55-0 Linton leading North Davies here at halftime. And we remind you to stick around after each and every broadcast for the Bender Lumber postgame show. Bender Lumber, Highway 54 in Linton, serving your building and repair needs with the highest levels of customer satisfaction. I'll talk to Linton football coach Brian Oliver again after each remaining Linton football broadcast. And during the basketball season, we'll have those coaches on the air for you as well. I think it's something that the fans enjoy and get out in their cars, drive home, or stick around on their computers at home and hear what the coach has to say. It's you get it. You get it first, and you get it right from the horse's mouth.
You get and they get a chance to explain something that you know, we don't understand all the time what goes on the football field, and sometimes you get an opportunity to learn something. And I think it's great that they come up here. It's a lot harder to come up here on a loss. I know Coach Weber last year in that Ritter game, that probably was not Ritter,
Cecina,
but that was probably one of the toughest moments that I think I've ever seen in a broadcast booth. But and congrats to Coach and Mike Hayden. They got their first win over Seymour last week. Topsy-turvy game that one was, and I'm not sure who they got this week. But
not a knock here, but not having Union in this final stretch of regular season games and adding a team like Sheridan, that really, I think, gives this minor football team some additional focus and concentration.
Can you imagine the Linton Duggar game this year? And hats off to those Bulldog players because they graduated. I had to be 9, 10, 11 players, and a lot of us thought, how are they going to field the team? It's got to be all young kids. It's got to be freshmen and sophomore, and they're still out there trying to do it. So by no means a knock, but it does nobody any good to win a game 75, 80 to nothing and risk somebody getting hurt. And I think state-wise, this gives the minors a little bit, I think people take notice, hey, they're trying to improve their schedule. It's a 2-year deal, I believe. So
we'll have Sheridan here next season.
I believe so. And then after that, I think the coaching staff, and they want to improve the schedule. I know Wood Memorial's probably short-lived on our schedule.
Right.
And, numerous names have been brought up. But
well, it was I forget who we were talking about. That's week 3, and we were targeting someone as a week 3 possibility. They play Terre Haute South on week 3.
And that's a team that's just they haven't been in that contest for several years. It's a logical game between the two teams. Lincoln is already playing Sullivan. Maybe they don't want a 1A team. That could possibly be talk of North Knox, and Vincennes Lincoln always lingers. The truth of the matter is there's not a lot of teams in this vicinity that want to place Linton. I mean, how would you like to be a 4A school that
gets beat almost every year by a 1A?
And they don't want that.
Yeah.
And hats off to West Vigo for continuing to have us on the schedule. And that's usually, the early years that was a heck of a game, and we've had a couple of them that were really good too. But
well, I think the dollar signs also that helps because Linton generally travels pretty well on the road. Well, we're finally ready to get this second half underway.
Let's just keep our fingers crossed to Keith that we get out of this injury-free. Cougars have already lost a couple of players, and hopefully they're going to be okay. But I'm sure we'll see the minor varsity coming out in the third quarter. I think, like Darren said, I think they want to finish this game strong. They don't want to let Lonaker rack up 100 and some odd yards.
Well, Bays and Turpin are the guys that go back deep. Linton will kick off to start the second half, left to right. Goodman puts his foot into it. He's kicked a lot tonight. It's a short kick, dropped at the 30, and I think Nord Davies was able to cover it up at the 32 or 33.
Barely. Herndon and Val. And
Steffi, he took a whack
he's not getting
going
up.
down on the field to pick that football up, and he paid for it.
Val and Herndon. Herndon has just been insane on these kickoffs. Just running down full bore, and not seeing as much action on the defensive side because Rupska's out there as he is now.
So North Davies will take over at their own 33. First and 10. Well, if Hayden did have such an inside track on that Graber post-building star of the game, Herndon, for his play, so we've kicked off so many times that he's had plenty of opportunities to shine.
If he just could have got the handoff on that,
right,
that would have been it for him. It's going to be one of those nights when there's a lot of players that could be.
Helms is looking over to the sideline with his arms extended and his palms up. He doesn't know what the play is. And North Davies has got to call a timeout here before they get a play going.
Frustration.
Coach Helms is staring daggers at a couple of his assistant coaches.
Lonaker was on the sideline getting stretched and was not in the contest. Oh.
So a timeout here before North Davies gets a play underway after the intermission.
Wow, that's... You got to wonder who the backup is that wouldn't have been aware that Lonaker wasn't. He was down here getting stretched out.
Shannon Chesterfield now is the big kid that split out wide to the near side.
Look at the size of that kid, would you? Boy,
Two receivers to the far side.
He's 6'5".
Helms is in the shotgun. He'll still give the football to Lonaker. Goes up the middle.
Boom.
Gets out to the 34, maybe a yard on the play.
Just nobody there, and just a host of minors.
How many yards does Lonaker have?
Well, like Terrence said, he had that 19-yard carry on the play that he fumbled on. I got him 15 now, and what did he get?
No gain.
He's got 49 yards.
2nd and 10 for North Davies. Football at the 33-yard line. Cougars come to the line, moving from right to left. Helms now goes over center. Backs are in the eye. Adams, the fullback. Back to passes Helms. He has protection this time. Throws it deep, and it is nearly intercepted. Knocked down by Eaton, and Eaton slaps himself on the helmet. He knew he missed an opportunity there for an interception.
Yeah, he probably should have had that one, and he's a receiver, so he should have got it. Pressure from Zach Rydell again.
3rd and 10 for the Cougars. First drive of the second half. We played a minute. 11 minutes left in the third quarter. 55-0 Linton. Carly Boo is named the homecoming queen tonight.
And on top of that, Macy Fiddler was named as the junior princess, whatever it is that they call the homecoming princess. We cover everything, by gosh.
Tight line for North Davies. Backs in the eye. Turpin in motion. The pitch is to Lonaker. Hit in the backfield and
play.
Dropped for no gain.
Great play by Paul Goodman, the outside linebacker. See, people try to hit Lonaker high. They're not going to get him down, and Goodman goes straight for the lower legs, gets him, wraps him up, down he goes.
4th and 10 for North Davies, and Bays will punt. He has punted a bunch tonight. And back at his own 40-yard line is Bo Eaton, and Zane Hayden is back there as well. Good snap. Bays, nice kick. High end over end. Hayden going to let it bounce at the 40. And it bounces dead short of the 35 at the 36 for the Miners at their own 36, 1st and 10. North Davies with another 3 and out.
And I said, there we go, because we've seen Zane almost play dodgeball with that ball, and I realize he's trying to keep it from rolling down there, but you don't want it to take a bad mouse and hit you. Of course, he wants to pick it up and run it. He told me today that he was after the ball last week just because he wanted to get hit.
Out of the shotgun, Dane Rupska has Stom split wide to the near side. Double wing formation, and in motion is Hayden to give up the middle to Hale. He's to the 40, cuts it to the near side, a burst of speed to the 50. He's to the near sideline to the 30, and brought down finally at the 25, maybe the 24. They're going to give him the 23-yard line. What a run by Austin Hale.
A great block by Grant Stom on the right side to get in that cornerback, and number 2 is going to get the tackle, Darren Raber, but number 24 ran right over him in the process. That's over 100 yards, I'm sure, for the junior for the second week in a row.
What about 31 yards on that carry?
Are they down to 23?
23-yard line.
I got 41
41,
yards.
Okay.
126 yards now on 10 carries for the junior.
Rupska gives to Eberhard. He's looking for the corner. He gets some positive yardage out across the 20-yard line, down to the 15.
Number 2 again on the tackle.
Be 2nd down coming up and short for the Miners. Clock is moving down to 9:30 left in the third quarter.
That's where speed gets you, Keith, because that outside backer for North Davies had beaten his block and was in the backfield, and Eberhard just turned on the gas and went around him.
2nd and 2 for Linton, the 15 of North Davies. And a bad snap, and Rupska wasn't able to get it.
Gingrich has got it. Well, the
Miners turn it over for the first time tonight. It'll be the 8th time that the Miners have lost a fumble. And that was a bad snap. Rupska just couldn't get his hands on it.
And you hate to see that. It's a red zone opportunity. And what that succeeds in doing is probably keeping the varsity offense out there for the next series, because they put that one in, we might not have seen them.
Still 55-0 Linton, as North Davies will take over now at their own 23.
Ball took a weird spin, didn't it, when it hit the ground?
I think Rupska had a hard time finding it.
Yeah.
And the North Davies kid knew exactly where it was and was able to pounce on it just ahead of Rupska. Over center is Helms, moving right to left. Give is to Lonecker. Has a nice hole, but there's a flag down on the play. Gets across the 30 and is brought down to 33, but this one's probably coming back.
Probably why that ball was open, hole was open. Val's going to make the tackle.
This one's coming back, holding against North Davies. 9:02 left in the third quarter. 55-0 Linton. The Miners have scored touchdowns each time they've had the football except for two. The first time was at the end of the first half when the clock expired. And then, of course, just now to open the second half when the Miners fumbled the snap.
Yeah, and they had driven 9 plays, 31 yards, all the way down to the 34. I'm sorry, I got the wrong paper up. They'd driven down to the 15-yard line after a 41-yard hail run.
This one's going to go all the way back to the 11-yard line.
Boy, I can't imagine the penalties. Unofficially, I've got them for 10 for 105 yards.
1st and 22 for North Davies from their own 11. Helms over center, hands the ball to Lonecker. Tries the middle of the line, and not much there. He does get some positive yardage out close to the 15.
Just a host of Miners again. Wyatt Franklin, 58. Good sportsmanship, helping each other up down there. I believe that's also 50 Van Winkle.
Football at the 14-yard line, so a gain of 3. 2nd and 19 coming up for the Cougars of North Davies, wearing their white road jerseys, black pants, black numbers, orange helmets.
You look down and see Alyssa Allen, the kicker for North Davies, with the blonde hair sticking out.
Like Dylan Deisher from the last 4 years for the Miners. Here's a give to Lonecker again. He tries the left side of his offensive line, and again, not much there. He carries out to the 15. Going to pick up 1. 3rd and very long coming up for North Davies.
Trent Val shucked off his blocker and made the hit.
Keep that clock moving. 7:45 and counting. You're listening to WQTY Linton, just about straight up 9 o'clock. We've still got a quarter and a half of football to be played.
You'd think they'd go to the air here.
Fake the handoff to Lonecker, and Helms is running for his life. Gets a nice block, keeps the football, and he is brought down.
Oh.
Foul's helmet came off, and Helms gets back to the 15, so I don't know that that'll go as a – actually gets a yard out to the 16.
Nice pressure again back there. Not 100% sure who it was, but it's like you said earlier, he's getting about a second to think about it, then he's got to tuck and run.
And you got to remember, North Davies, they're not a passing football team. They didn't even attempt to pass last week against North Putnam.
And here's to me where you question things like when you're ahead 45-0 in a game that you've got, why you don't work a little bit on that passing game.
Here's the punt from Bays. It bounces short of the 40-yard line, and North Davies will touch it in their territory at the 38-yard line. That's where the Miners will take over. And again, I don't know how many times we've started. Let's see. Miners have started once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. This is now the 5th time that Linton has started in North Davies territory, leading 55-0.
And I really thought you were going to start singing when you said once, twice, 3 times. I thought that was coming next.
No, I don't do Lionel Richie.
That would have been a first this evening.
No. I'd rather do the Cowsills first.
There's a good one.
Yeah. Here's Rupska back to pass, throws it to the far flat. It's caught by Stom. He makes a nice move to the middle of the field. He's got a block. Nice juke move to the 20, to the 10. He's going to be brought down short of the 5-yard line. Grant Stom is a lot of fun to watch when he makes that catch.
Boy, we are glad that he decided to go ahead and play his senior year. We've had a lot of pass plays almost get in the end zone.
We've had 3 scores tonight by the Miners from the 1.
And they've been set up really by
passes.
Long pass plays.
Football is at the 8. Gain of 30 for Stom on the completion. 1st and goal. Rupska rolls to the far side, looking at the end zone. He's got a man out there, Stom, but he overthrew him. Incomplete.
And he might have did that on purpose. That might not be a bad play there, because there were a lot of folks on that side of the end zone. And I'd rather see that than try to squeeze it in there and get a pick off.
When Stom made that break, he was wide open.
Oh, I tell you what, he's been wide open a couple times, but he's done the majority of his damage after he catches the ball, making moves.
And Hayden has made some nice moves tonight himself. Eberhardt has made some nice moves, and Hale has just been so explosive.
Yeah, we have some fabulous skill players and a great offensive line as well.
Out of the shotgun, Rupska drops the snap, and he goes down. He did get the football back, but a loss on the play back to the 13. So a loss of 5. It's going to be 3rd and goal.
Cox is going to make the tackle, number 63, Stephen Cox, a senior. And now that's twice now the ball has ended up on the ground, and that one looked like it hit Dane right in the hands.
That's one of the dangers of playing in the shotgun. The Miners have done it so much over the last several seasons that they've gotten awfully good at it. Clock is moving. Play clock down to 15. All the Linton players looking at the sideline. Now all of them looking down at their wristbands with the plays on.
They just want to give Coach Oliver something to get mad at him about.
3rd and goal from the 13. Here's a double handoff to Eberhardt. Wide open hole in the middle, but he is brought down quickly as he gets close to the 5-yard line. It'll be 4th down.
And he got, I was following that one on the, and we're going to see Kangura kick a field goal here, but boy, that was a high tackle by Austin Markle.
Gets down to the 6-yard line.
Well, I thought he was in the end zone the way he was going to run the ball.
It was a big hole there for a moment, and Kangura is going to come on and try to attempt a field goal here.
Well, I like this.
And the spot is going to come from the 14, call it the 15-yard line, so a 25-yard field goal attempt by Jay Kangura. The kick is on the way, and I think it drifted wide right, so no good on the 25-yard field goal attempt. 4:30 left in the 3rd quarter. On the Graber Post Building scoreboard, we are still at 55-0 in favor of the Linton Miners. We'll remind you our broadcast brought to you in part by Fleetwood Promotions, offering creative marketing and fundraising options for your business, club, and organization. In fact, if you're a business, you got a logo, Fleetwood Promotions can put your logo on just about anything you can imagine. Printed goods, promotional products, and apparel. Call Kim at Fleetwood Promotions, 698-2013, or go online to fleetwoodpromotions.com.
Well, I'll tell you what, Keith, the score is 55-0, and we haven't scored in the 3rd quarter, but 2 scoring opportunities for the Miners that we haven't been able to convert on.
So North Davies takes over at their own 20-yard line. The give is to Lonecker, I believe, right up the middle. He gets out to the 23, maybe the 24-yard line.
And Jace Herndon gets him by the ankles. Van Winkle give him a good pop high, low and high tackle.
That was actually Adams on the carry that time. 26, Dakota Adams.
Well, they're both big guys. And, you know, Keith, still looking at this roster, there's still a lot of underclassmen on it.
So out to the 23-yard line, 2nd and 7 coming up for North Davies, moving from right to left. Under 4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. No scoring yet in the 3rd quarter. Backs in the eye, man in motion. There's a give to Adams again. Goes up the middle, and he might have gotten a yard.
Nowhere, though. Zach Johnson, number 60, wrapped him up behind the line of scrimmage. They're winning the battle up front, Keith. There's no question about it. Red uniforms are in the backfield virtually every play.
Football goes out to the, we'll call it still the 23, so it's 3rd and 7 for North Davies. 4-1 on the season coming into this matchup. Only loss was to North Central as a counter play to Turpin. He's got a nice hole, and he's got a 1st down. He's out to the 35, and did the football come loose? No. Don't believe so. Nice run by Turpin on a counter play. Got a Miner down momentarily, but he pops back up
Looks like
at the 37-yard line. A gain of 14 for Turpin.
that was a different kind of play. Kind of looked like it was going to go to the left, and Turpin has the biggest offensive play really of the night for the Cougars.
So they get a first down. Their fans get a little something to hoop and holler about, as you heard. The cowbell in the background. More cowbell.
Yep. That was a gain of 14.
Backs are split this time. Here's a pitch to Loneker, and
Look
he's
at
going
that.
to be hit in the backfield and will drop for a loss.
How about that tackle by Trent Vowell, number 43?
Back to the 35-yard line. They'll lose a couple on the play.
I'll tell you what, Keith, that is a 6'2", 240-pound running back in open space, being met head on and perfectly tackled by a 5'11", 180 outside linebacker.
This Miner defense has played extremely well tonight.
Well, and they did last week, you know.
Yeah. Well, the only score that Springs Valley got, of course, was against the JV defense in the fourth quarter. Same 2 weeks ago at the Dome, or at the Lucas Oil, with West Vigo, as Loneker tries to stretch a play out to the far side, and he's gang tackled for a short, if any, gain at all.
I don't know how many Miners are out there. I'm going to say Van Winkle 50 is one of them out there, but I saw Herndon as well.
He's actually going to lose a yard back to the 34, actually lose a couple back to the 33, a loss of 2 on the play.
12 carries, 51 yards now for Loneker. Remember, 19 of that came on one play that he fumbled on.
So we've got a 3rd and 12 now coming up for North Davies. Clock is moving. It's under 2 minutes. But for some reason it stopped. And we've got a flag on the play, apparently. That's the reason.
Wow.
So we've got I thought that was a 3rd down play there. This is going to be still going to remain 3rd down because the Miners are going to accept the penalty. And the football is going to go all the way back to the 23-yard line.
10-yard penalty.
12-yard 3rd and 22 for North Davies, and Helm's going to give the football. They've got a hole at the 30. This is Bays running to the 35, the 40, and brought out of bounds at the 42, short of a first down. It'll be 4th down for North Davies, but manageable if they decide to go for it.
I'll tell you what, Keith, and I hesitate to say it, but you know, North Davies has always been a just 30 handoff guy over and over and over and over. And you see these plays with Turpin and Bays where they speed and they get out in the open, and you wonder why they don't try more of those plays. If the inside's not working, I mean, they've had a little bit of success, and they look like they're going to go for this.
Well, is it still 3rd down? I thought that was the 3rd down play. 3rd down and 5. There's the give to the second man through. He gets out to the 45-yard line, and that was Loneker. Colton Loneker, the senior, who has amassed over 4,000 yards in his career.
He's, like I say, about 1,400 yards. Rydell was on the tackle there, but he has not seen this kind of defense this year.
1:20 left in the 3rd quarter. It's 4th and short coming up for North Davies from the 45, their own 45-yard line.
And this is what you call gut check time for North Davies. They want to get a first down.
Helms gives to Turpin on a counter play, and he is hit at the line, but he was tackled forward and should have a first down. That was a nice effort there by Turpin. 55 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, and it is a first down at the 47-yard line.
Rupska going to be in on the tackle. He barely got it.
He was stopped short of the first down, but he was able to just kind of get that arm out and bring himself forward and bring a couple of red jerseys with him.
Well, that's just their second first down of it. Well, I guess they got a couple more late there in that second half.
Again, a bunched up, packed up line there. Backs in the eye, but Helms is going to throw. He rolls to the far side. He's in trouble, and Miners were held, no flag, and the pass is incomplete. And I could see it from here. That one of the Miners got held and turned around, but no flag. It's incomplete, 2nd and 10 with 31 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, and it's a 55-0 Linton lead. That's where we were at the half. We've had no points put on the board by either team here in the 3rd quarter.
And I look at my quarter, how I do that, and the Miners with 82 yards in the third quarter. North Davies has got 45. Oh, that's the total. That's right. 45 total yards through just about 3 quarters of play.
Well, we called it the 47. Now, after the incompletion, the football's actually at the 48-yard line. 2nd and 10, North Davies. Play clock down to 3. They get the play off. Give us to Lonecker up the middle. Across the 50, and boy, he really keeps his feet moving. One of his better runs of the night, gets 10 yards, and probably going to have a first down here.
Yep, in the Miner territory at about the 40-yard line.
Well, you can certainly see why there are a lot of high school football teams that have a hard time bringing him down, because the Miners had a hard time bringing him down there.
He's got 68 yards now, 22 carries.
Picks up 12 yards there on that carry down to the 40-yard line of Linton. So North Davies putting together a nice little drive here. They started at their own 20. Now they're at the Linton 40. This will probably be the last play of the third quarter. Backs in the eye. Adams, the fullback. And he's back to pass. He throws it down the middle, and it's incomplete.
It's Chapin is in the game.
Sam Chapin, the sophomore.
And that one was broken up by Paul Goodman, number 34. Chapin is the quarterback of the future.
Chapin is perhaps a little better passer.
Yeah, that's what coaches said in the write-ups I've seen. Now we see Helms will
Helms
go
is
to
coming. He's coming in.
He's a receiver in this situation.
Yeah, but Chapin stays in as well. So 1 second left in the third quarter. Chapin, the sophomore, in a quarterback. Backs are in the eye. Helms is still out there as well. The give is to Lonecker to end the third quarter. He's across the 40 and tackled at the 35, and a gain of 5, and that's where we stop after 3 quarters of play from Moy Williams Field in Linton on the Graber Post Building scoreboard. We're still at our halftime score at the end of 3 quarters, 55-0 Linton leading North Davies. Back in 60 seconds. This is a Media 5 sports production.
They won't have the big running back thing next year.
Our broadcast brought to you by Francis Jewel Box in downtown Linton. Make sure you stop in and see Kathy Matthews when it comes time to select your class ring. She's got some special offers for you and a great selection. Your hometown jewelry store with the best prices, service, and selection. Francis Jewel Box, 145 Main in Linton. North Davies now will turn around. They'll go from left to right. It's 3rd and 5. Start the fourth quarter. Chapin, the sophomore, still at quarterback. Counter play to Turpin. That's worked pretty well tonight, but it doesn't work there. And it'll be 4th down.
Once again, Goodman and Van Winkle. Van Winkle's been all over the place out there.
No gain on the play. Therefore, Turpin stays at the 35-yard line. It's 4th and 5, and the clock continues to move.
Talking during the break, Keith, usually every year we see a sophomore or somebody for North Davies that we know is the incumbent coming in, and they really lose about all of them but Doug Bays as far as running backs, and he's more of a speedster type of guy.
Well, they've had a bruiser back there for a long time.
Have.
Here's a give now to
Steffi,
the fullback, and on 4th down he gets no gain.
And that's Indy Miller, number 74. Got to say, Indy Miller has once I've got over not calling him Indiana Jones, he's really been a surprise this year. He didn't play. I mean, he played last year sparingly, but he's been a big cog at defensive end for the Miners and also on the offense.
Miners take over at their own 35 on downs. Clock stops with the change of possession. When the wind went out of the sail of this large North Davies crowd early in the football game, and they've lost maybe 25% of their crowd.
And we got the JV out there, so hats off to Coach Oliver for getting them in the contest.
Trent is going to hand the football off. They'll stretch the play out to the far side, and they'll get no gain as the give was given to, or the handoff was given to Braxton Cox.
Turpin makes the tackle.
Wears number 2, and every time I see number 2, you know who I think about.
Yeah.
Cole Bradbury. Cox is going to lose a yard back to the 34.
Boy, Braxton had a nice kickoff return last week. Eliminated on a push in the back. I saw the film in there.
And there's a handoff up the middle.
Garrett Mason, they're saying.
So Mason was the ball carrier. Garrett Mason, a freshman, number 45. And he gets a yard back to the 34-yard line.
And you know, this JV team beat South Putnam, beat Cascade. They're undefeated right now. Offside.
Chad Trent, and he's able to draw North Davies offside. So that'll cost the Cougars 5 yards. And instead of being 3rd and 11, it'll be 3rd and 6.
See Jason, number 18, Jacob Clothier. I know I'm saying that wrong. A sophomore out here at wide out. Mason, Braxton Cox out there. 55 is Caden Walker, a freshman. 70 is Owen Sparks, a freshman.
Also out there, Tyler Muir, 5'4" freshman, part of the double wing formation. Now the Miners are going to change the play. They all look at their wristbands. Muir is in motion, and we've got a flag. We've got a procedure call against the Miners.
Yeah, they're getting a little rough out there. 64 is another one out there at Braxton Lannon.
Is that still the North Davies defense? Varsity defense?
I think he's slowly bringing them in. I'm seeing guys come out. Markle's come out. Steffi's come out. Allen has come out. So, and also here comes Turpin out. So I like to see that too. You're bringing in your JV. It's good to. There's no reason for them to come out there and play against the varsity.
Miners got to go to their own 45. It's going to be 3rd and about 11.
62 is another one out there. I'm not going to try to say that name. T. Pig, they call him.
Tizia.
It's a heck of a name. Trent.
Well, we got a fumble.
I got an interception.
Yeah, they faked me out. They got the football all the way into North Davies territory and then coughed it up. And I want to say that was Fegley.
Yeah, Fegley's who it was going to, number 5. I'm not sure.
The Miners turned the football over.
Not sure if that was Raber, number 2. Might not have been. Might have been number. I'm not sure who that was. Did you guys get who that was?
So Linton fumbles the football for the second time, turns it over. And North Davies will take over 1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line. And they still got Chapin, the sophomore, in at quarterback.
Now here's where I don't understand this.
And they're going to give the football to Turpin.
Ooh.
They'll stretch it out to the near side, and he gets across the 50 to the 49 of Linton. Going to pick up 3 on the play.
Well, just as I say that, I see the Miner starting defenses out there. So you're not going to get the JV defense against the. They don't want to let. They want to keep
the shutout here with 9 minutes left to play in the football game. Right at the 50-yard line is where the spot will officially be. So a gain of 2 by Turpin. 2nd and 8.
I think they also want to keep Lonicker's numbers down. 73 yards on 23 carries. They'd love to hold him under 100.
Steffi's going to come out of the ball game right now on this play. Markle is in there. That's one of the tailbacks. And it's Loniker who takes the pitch, looks for an opening, and is hit behind the line of scrimmage and brought down for a loss of 1 on the play.
They've tried that play over and over and over, and Goodman does not bite. He gets him by the legs, and Van Winkle comes in, puts the closing hit on him.
Miners have done such a good job of tackling today.
That's the trademark of the Miners defense. You can outsize us, but you can't out-technique us.
Seems like oftentimes when a coach comes up, whether it's Coach Oliver or Coach Weber over the last few years, anytime that there's been some talk about not really living up to the defensive expectations, it boils down to poor tackling, and that's not been the case tonight. Chapin going to hand the football off to Loneker, looks for a hole. Tries to break it now back up the middle. Short gain on the play, and we've got a fight out there.
Yeah, that's Helms, number 12, and that's very unusual. Very unusual to see Coach Helms, and Zane Hayden's out there, and he's absolutely not going to be throwing any punches.
I think Curtis Cox was maybe one of the guys that was back there with Helms. I'm not sure exactly which Miner was involved in that, but there was some pushing and some shoving going on, and
don't want to get thrown out of a game. Guys are patting each other on the back.
A couple of flags go down.
Coach Jennings out there, Mark right in the thick of it. Zach Johnson coming out limping, number 60. I think they're going to call that against the Miners.
Personal foul. It's
against
ways.
North Davies.
Is it both ways?
I haven't seen him
offsetting.
Haven't seen him point Linton's way yet. Yep, there we go. Nope, North Davies. So my guess is somebody tried to take a cheap shot. 15-yard penalty against the Cougars. That's going to put them well over 100 yards. So the ball got.
Helms is coming over, and he's going to be.
Yeah, he's being
jawed at by his father and coach. So this is going to be third and a long way.
So he got out. I really am confused on where he got. Because wouldn't that be a 15? Okay, there we go. 15-yard penalty.
He's gonna pick up about 3 yards on the carry.
Yeah, he got to the Linton 48. It looks like.
And then completely, about 10 yards away from the play itself is where the scuffle was taking place. And the official now coming over to talk to Coach Helms, and
all of them.
Zebras are over now talking to Coach Helms.
Yeah,
about this one.
All 4 of them are over there. Side judge on the far side isn't.
Third and very long.
Brady is on the sideline. He didn't get ejected, did he? Because if that's the case, he's not playing next week.
Why are the sticks moving?
That's a mess up. You caught him. Confusion on the sideline.
The official was moving the sticks. They're not going to move the sticks.
It's fourth and 21.
The guys, the chain gang must have thought the Miners were getting the football.
Yeah, they've got to get to they got to go 21 yards. That's all I can.
They still don't have the sticks in the right place.
And the officials don't seem to be real concerned, but Scotty's still talking to the head official on the side over there.
Well, they're going to have to get some things straightened out here because the chain gang's not in the right place.
And the FAR official sees it because this should be 4th and 21. It would have been 4th and 6, and then you throw that 15-yard penalty in there.
This play is going to start from the 37-yard line.
Boy, this may be a
7:41 left in the football game. We'll remind you our broadcast brought to you by Southside Express in Linton. Southside Express has everything you need when you're in a hurry, and they're locally owned and operated. Also by the Asphalt Doctor in Bloomfield for all your paving, seal coating, and repairs. Call the Asphalt Doctor in Bloomfield for a free estimate, 327-4446.
I got 12 penalties, 137 yards, and what I'm seeing right now, Keith, I really think is awesome. The two teams are standing basically ready to run the play, and they're both reaching across the line of scrimmage and handshaking each other, patting each other on the head. So, I like seeing sportsmanship. North Davies and Linton has not always been the most sportsmanlike of performances, but
they've moved the chain gang back a little bit, but I still don't think that they're in the right place.
I got 4 and 21, so I'm not sure. 21 yards would.
Fourth down for the Cougars, moving from left to right. Finally, we'll get this play underway. Chapin going to hand the football to Loneker right up the middle. He's across the 40, gets to the 42, and the Miners will get the football back on downs.
Dylan Morris, 78, tripped him up. Here come the Miners JV. Well, as happy as Coach Oliver probably was at the half, the Miner offense, a couple of blunders in that third quarter, didn't be able to put points on the board. So that'll give him something to talk about for sure.
Well, Miners haven't scored in the second half. It remains 55-0 on the Graber Post Building scoreboard with 7.5 minutes left to play. Miners right in front of us. Chad Trent, quarterback. Going to give the football right up the middle to Mason. And he gets short yardage, maybe to the 40. 2nd and 9 coming up at the 41-yard line.
Cougar fans still hooting and hollering down there.
Freshman Garrett Mason with a yard on the play. 2nd and 9 coming up. 7 minutes left in the game. Miners ranked number 1 in the AP poll as well as the coaches poll, but they're not getting shown the love with Sagarin numbers.
Yeah.
Well, I can't remember if it was 6th or 7th or 8th that the Miners were according to Sagarin. Here's a counter play.
It's Fonseca.
Fonseca got a nice hole. He's got a first down, gets to the 30-yard line. A flag comes in with the tackle.
Graber, number 2 on the tackle. Not sure where the flag came in at, like you say, at the end of the play. Down to the...
Another freshman, Ian Fonseca.
Yeah. To the 29-yard line is where he got.
And we'll check out the flag. North Davies has sure been penalized a lot in this football game. And they've been frustrated all night.
This looks like this is going against the Miners.
He'll get credit for yardage down to the 29. He'll get 12 yards.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. So
well, this is going to cost the Miners 15, even though Fonseca got first down yardage. We'll see if it was after the play. If it is, then the Miners will have a first down. If not, it'll be 2nd down. It looks like it's going to stay 2nd down.
Yeah, I'm like you. If it was after the play, then it would be first down.
Football goes back. Now it's going to be third down. From the 44-yard line. 6:30 left to play. Miners going to go to 6-0 on the season, and will play at North Knox next Friday night. Lawson. Trent at quarterback. And we got a short gain on the play.
Lawson, number 32, and he's met by, I think, his same number on the other side. Jesse Reed on the tackle.
4th down coming up. We'll see if the Miners are going to go for it. Trent stays out on the field. Rupska's the punter. He's not coming out.
Nah, they won't do that. A lot of youngsters getting in. Rippey, number 30. Kendall Williams, number 22.
4th and 11 coming up for the Miners.
And Briar Pope is the center.
Trent gives the football.
Nice
and going to lose yardage here on this play on 4th down.
That was Williams, 22, and he was met.
Kendall Williams, a freshman.
I believe that's number 60's Chambers, a sophomore for.
It's Williams' 2nd carry of the season, varsity-wise, I should say. Back to the 46-yard line. North Davies will have it. Miners give it back on downs. North Davies at their own 46.
The Miners starting defense is out on the field watching over to see if the Cougars going to put their starters back out there. They want to get rid of that goose egg. The Miners are determined not to let that happen.
Helms is coming to the sideline, though. He's not going to be back out there. Chapin, the sophomore, will stay in as quarterback.
Well, the last several plays, Chapin's been the quarterback. Helms has been the tight end. A little frustration, if I'm guessing. I mean, this is his 3rd, 4th year of facing the Miners.
Chapin over center. North Davies, 1st and 10. To give his short gain on the play. Turpin, 33, pops up. He was the ball carrier, so you caught that right, Dan.
My eyes are sharp, even though I'm getting old, and that was Goodman, 34, and Rupska, 44, combined on the tackle.
Out to the 48 8-yard line. Pick up a couple for Steffi, 2nd and 8.
It's 22 yards now, 7 carries. Turpin, number 33.
Yeah, we're under 5 minutes to play in the football game. 55-0 Linton. It's been a scoreless second half, though. Chapin pitches to Turpin. He turns it up the middle and gets out to the 50. He'll pick up a yard or 2.
Van Winkle on the tackle, but now he's getting up a little bit beat up.
And it stops that clock at 4:41. It's not exactly what we want to see right now.
Well, we saw Johnson.
Well, we got a penalty on the play against North Davies.
Boy.
There's a flag over on the far side of the field. So instead of this next play coming from midfield,
gosh, it's just another
back
hold.
a little further.
That looks like another holding penalty.
10-yarder. Going to go back to the 38-yard line.
That's the most penalties I've seen called on the team in a long time. I see Johnson back out there, I believe, number 60. That's good news.
Adams and Loneker are the backfield again. Give us to Loneker, the tailback. He puts his head down and burrows forward out to the 40-yard line. He's going to only get a couple.
Zach Rydell, 56, crashes down from the defensive end. Ball right at the 40-yard line.
3rd and long, coming up about 17 for North Davies with 4:10 left in the game. But Linton is dominated and leads 55-0.
Yeah, I don't even, it's hard to imagine saying this, but I don't know that the score is even indicative of how much the Miners have dominated.
26-0 at the end of one quarter, 55-0 at the half. That's where we remain. Again, under 4 minutes left to play now.
And Helms is back in at tight end. Here comes
Chapin back to pass, throws over the middle.
Picked off.
And
Herndon and Raber. Raber going to give it to Raber.
So the catch is ruled in favor of North Davies. Maybe a simultaneous grab there.
Yeah, Herndon was right there too. Raber.
But it's going to be 4th down from the 50. Gain of 10 on the play.
And that just might be the first 2 out of 13 passing for a collective 3 yards.
Yeah, that first completion lost a bunch of yards.
Yeah.
And that was Helms having his jersey stretched out.
Yeah,
and he was able to shovel pass it to Dakota Adams for a big loss rather than a sack. Chapin over center. Back to pass again. Throws it down the field, and it's intercepted at the 35-yard line. And I believe it's Cox. Curtis Cox, the senior, with the interception.
I think that's his 2nd interception.
You are correct. So the 2nd interception of the night for the Miners. The other one was grabbed by Rupska. So with 2:43 left in the football game, the Miners have the ball back at their own 40-yard line. Interception by Curtis Cox.
Well, that's, 2 tonight interceptions. That's now 15 interceptions for this Miner team. I'm going to have to check last year's total, but this getting to be a pretty good amount.
So again, the JV offense out there. Chad Trent going to hand the football off. Corbin right up the middle, gets out to the 45-yard line. That's the old Grant Stom number, 27 from last year. Stom wearing 20 this season. Out to the 45, gain of 5, 2nd and 5.
There's no shortage.
2:25.
No shortage of skilled players, Keith. I mean, these younger guys coming up, all run the ball hard.
A lot of competition, too. There are a lot of kids that seem to have some equal type ability at the JV level. Makes practices more spirited and competitive.
Well, the offseason will probably play a big role. See Tyler Muir out there now, as well as Lewis, 35.
Trent going to hand the ball to Muir. The little guy gets over to the far side, and he takes some tacklers with him across the 50 and down to the 46-yard line. He will have a 1st down. And the Miners should be able to run the clock out now. In fact, they could probably just take a knee 3 times, and in this football game as we're at 1:45 left in the game.
Well, Tyler Muir now has carried the ball a couple of times this year, 9 yards and 11 yards. Of course, we all know who Tyler's dad is. That'd be JP, and he's a proud man. Of course, Tyler, physique-wise, is not taking too much after his old man.
Not yet.
I'll probably get hit for that one.
Trent out of the shotgun. Going to hand football off, and right up the middle for a short gain on the play is Lewis, Dalton Lewis, the junior.
I think that's his first carry of the year as well.
It is. And he carries the football across the 45 down to the 44. Going to pick up a couple of yards on the play. We are down to 1 minute left in the game, second down. Davies territory, leading 55-0. Probably is going to be our final score.
Gentry now at the running back position.
Trent turns, looks at the play clock. Plenty of time. It's down to 10. Trent going to hand the football off. And we get down across the 40-yard line. That looked like Avery Gentry.
Yeah, he's going to be a horse.
And we'll see. I don't know if the Miners will have to run a play or not. It doesn't look like they will have to, as we're down to 22 seconds left in the game, and the play clock has not yet started. Now it has. There's a 7-second differential, and the Miners are not going to run a play, and that's going to be it for this football game. It belongs to the Linton Miners. On our final score on the Graber Post Building scoreboard, Linton wins at homecoming 55-0. We'll be back after this 2-minute timeout. This is a Media 5 Sports production.
My knees.
$55-0 our final. Linton, ranked number 1 in Class 1A, goes to 6-0. North Davies drops to 4-2. As we're joined after the game by Darren Clayton with a look at the stats.
And Darren, it's a unique situation. 55-0. You normally look at a 0-0 second half and think, well, the other team must have gotten stronger or tougher. And really, it was a case of us just kind of putting the ball on the ground. I don't think the intensity was nearly as there as it always was, but it does not diminish an outstanding performance on both sides of the ball. Let's talk about that Miner offense.
Yeah, boy, it racks up a lot of yards. Not a lot in the second half, but like you said, the intensity's just not there. I mean, it's hard to keep that kind of focus. I mean, we played a great first half, and that's what allows you to have that kind of a second half. I mean, not that it was a bad second half, but, no points on the board. The JV does play the fourth quarter on offense, so that contributes a little bit. But overall, the Miners, 258 yards on the ground tonight. Austin Hale, back-to-back 100-yard games now, 10 carries, 128 for him tonight to lead the way. Mitch Eberhardt, 5 carries for 59 to back him up. Hayden and Rupska both solid again tonight as well, rushing the football. So 258 on the ground for the Miners. And then through the air, another 220. Just only threw 2 passes in the second half, completed one of them, 9 out of 13, 220 more through the air, 478 for the Miner offense. And, only 106 yards in the second half, but it just wasn't the same dynamic. I mean, it's just hard to keep that kind of momentum.
It's as you say. I think the first couple of drives we got down there, and then the JV came in all of the fourth quarter, and really any Miner ball carrier that carried the ball just about had his way. So what you got to give credit to is that offensive line.
Oh, absolutely. They were great tonight. I mean, we talked before the game. Was it going to be size? Was it going to be quickness? And it showed on both sides of the ball with the offense and the defense. Our quick kids were able to open holes against the bigger guys, and then it worked out really well for us tonight.
And then defensively, I think the thing that the Miners really wanted tonight, besides that goose egg, was to hold Lonaker down under 100. And they did a great job.
Oh, they really did. I mean, he only had a couple of runs. He had a 19-yard run, and that resulted in us getting the football with the fumble in the first half, and then an 11-yard run in the second half that really was the bulk of what he done. The rest of it was just grind it out, and he is pretty good at that. But, I mean, 28 carries for 88 yards, that's a long night, really, when you're used to racking up big yards.
And it wasn't like he was he was getting hit by 5 and 6 Miners on every play. I don't know how your dad did the tackles, because I tried to watch, and it looked like 3-4 guys every play.
Yeah, I don't do a lot with the defense, but kudos to Paul Goodman tonight. I know he played a whale of a game on the defensive side of the football for us. And, overall, we give them 127 yards on the ground and just 2 yards passing. They were able to complete and get back into the positives just on 2 completions on 14 attempts. So a great job by the Miner pass defense, and a lot of that goes back to the line again because they had pressure on them all night long in the backfield.
Saw Zach Johnson go out with a little bit of a limp, but I think he came back in. Does he look okay?
We had some cramping issues there late in the game. I think Goodman had some cramping issues, and Zach did as well. So I don't think it was anything that was a serious issue.
Well, certainly the Miners coming in, the statewide people were looking at this game wondering how it was going to be, and I think the Miners have answered any questions that they had. And if they could play with this intensity in the first half every week, we're going to have a great run.
Yeah, absolutely. We got some games coming up that I think are going to be good tests. Sheridan's coming up. Everybody's kind of had their eye on that since we put them on the schedule. But you also look at North Knox and North Central, and you got to feel like that. If you don't show up with your A game, that they could be right there as well.
Well, I appreciate you coming over, Darren, and doing the pregame with me. And we will, of course, talk to you next week. Your trip's not for a few more weeks.
Still got a few weeks. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, Darren Clayton with the stats. We are in our Bender Lumber postgame show, sponsored, of course, by Bender Lumber, Highway 54 in Linton, serving your building and repair needs with the highest levels of customer satisfaction. And we'll be back with more after this timeout for Bender Lumber. And it's be a good Saturday to visit Bender Lumber and get all the things you need for those weekend repair jobs and fix-up chores that you have around your house or the yard or the office or whatever you're doing. Bender Lumber is the place to go, Highway 54 in Linton. And a really nice win again, Dan. And if you want to try to pick at anything, if there is anything to pick at, that might just be a kind of sluggish third quarter there, at least from the varsity offense. And the Miners were driving a couple of times and had a bad snap that Rupska wasn't able to gather in, and then Rupska fumbled one of the snaps, and that put the kibosh on a couple of those drives where the Miners might have hit pay dirt again in the second half. But 55-0 at halftime, this football game was over at that time.
And the intensity wasn't there, but 55-0, that's mentally, that's what's going to happen. We fumbled at the 15-yard line. Certainly going to go in for a score there, I would imagine. And then again, the missed field goal attempt by Kongura took off some points. But might have been one of the best first halves of Miner football I might have seen in all my years of doing the games, because they just came out and hit, wrapped up, and then offensively blew open holes. And choosing a player this game is going to be a task. And I think they served out some notice tonight that this, this is going to be a no pushover team.
Zane Hayden again with a big night. Of course, all the scoring came in the first half. Hayden had 3 touchdowns tonight, 2 rushing, 1 receiving. Dane Rupska got a couple of rushing touchdowns. He threw a couple more touchdowns. So we had definitely several kids on the offensive side of the football that excelled this evening. And Dan, as you pointed out throughout the course of the evening, there were several kids defensively that just really came to play tonight.
Yeah, and it's you can't pick the whole defense for the player of the game or the whole offensive line for the player game. That's the problem. They all work together. Obviously, the offensive line, 260-plus yards rushing, 213 yards passing.
You'd like to do that. I just won't let you.
I know. Rupska, threw for 213 yards. I don't think he was ever remotely pressured in that backfield. I think he had all the time in the world. And, defensively, what an effort on the State's. I think he's the Class 1A's leading rusher. If not, he's got to be one of the top 2 or 3, and totally shut him down. 83 yards. I can't wait to hear the reactions around the state on that. Of course, they'll probably knock that it's North Daviess is only unbeaten 0-5 teams, but I still say this is a pretty solid North Daviess team. They just ran into a buzzsaw tonight.
I don't know if Rebecca back at the station's got that Bender Lumber commercial queued up and ready to go, but we're waiting on Brian Oliver to make his appearance here in the press box for the post-game interview. You're listening to the Bender Lumber post-game show here. Final score tonight, Linton wins 55-0, and we're going to try to get that Bender Lumber commercial in one more time for you right now. I'm Keith along with Dan, and this is a Media 5 Sports production. Thanks. We'll do the Graber Post next.
See you later, Scotty.
I don't know what's happened to Coach Ollie.
Unless he got caught by the press. That happens to him. Gosh, you should have told me my hat was cattywampus.
Well, again, the Miners come away with a 55-0 victory, a shutout that they pitch against North Daviess. And the Miners run their regular season winning streak now to 27 games. Last time they lost was 3 years ago on this particular night, week 6, in the regular season, to this North Daviess team.
That was a good North Daviess team, though. Janu Davis, and I'm pretty sure that's who that was. Harkness, and I don't know. We call their names so much. I think it's past Davis's time, but North Daviess will regroup. Certainly, this has to be a blow because I think they thought they were going to be more competitive, and most of the people I talked to thought this was going to be a competitive game, and you could tell the Miners are really relishing it. They're all out on the field still talking. Normally they're in the locker room by now. And I'm trying to find Coach Oliver down there.
I'm having a hard time picking him out down there also. I think he's got one of the video guys perhaps that's cornered him. But we'll stick around and wait for his arrival in the press box. And we're going to go ahead and go into our Graber Post Building Star of the Game while we wait.
Man, oh man.
And we'll come back and have our Star of the Game announcement after this timeout for Graber Post Buildings. Is that your guy down there on the field talking to Coach Oliver?
Push. Push.
Right down there. I think it is.
I can't even find him.
He's down there on the 10-yard line. There he goes. No, or was that wasn't Coach Ollie?
No.
Or maybe it was.
It might be.
Well, you heard to find Wally or whatever that is.
Yeah, I think he's on his way. So we're waiting on Coach Oliver, and he's jogging. Yeah, we were fighting with ourselves there.
Yeah, running down the track.
I have to get that straightened out.
Yeah.
Do some finger wagging after this thing's over with. So we'll have Coach Oliver here, and it gives Dan a little reprieve to think a little bit more. He'll get some help. He'll get some help now. He'll direct that line of questioning just to help get that Star of the Game announcement made.
He's going to want to thank every one of these guys, I guarantee it.
That's Coach Oliver. Congratulations, Coach, on the victory.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You have to be excited, Coach. That all of the thoughts and lead-ups into this ball game, the size, would homecoming have anything to do with it? Gosh, that might be one of the best first halves I've seen minor football put out.
Our kids came out from the beginning, and you could tell they were fired up the way we played. They were looking forward to this game, and the way they came out and played, I expected it to be a close game there. But we were able to do some things defensively. I think it gave them some problems. And the biggest thing, we was able to control the line of scrimmage. Like I said in pregame, that was going to be the biggest thing, and we were able to do that.
Your offensive line leads the way to 264 rush yards and 213 pass yards, just a shy under 500. But probably the biggest thing you're going to be pleased about, other than the scoring, they held Lonaker in check. He had a 19-yard run, 83 total yards on the whole night, 27 or so carries. What can you say about your minor defense against a quality offensive team like North Davies?
I mean, we knew coming in we was going to have to make a couple adjustments. We did, and Coach Mark Jennings did a great job with that. We changed our front up a little bit, and they able to give us some of our better linemen up front. And the way they came out and they executed the defensive plan to perfection, we were very pleased the way they were able to do that, and especially coming in. I mean, for some reason, and I love it, that our kids really get fired up when a good running back comes in.
Yeah, always has been that way.
And we always want to go out and prove that we are still a really good team, and we was able to prove that we're getting better. Yeah. And that's the big key.
Now, on that note, Keith's going to make me pick a star of the game, and I'm telling you, there were so many guys that could do it, and with a shutout and such an offensive thing, a guy like Paul Goodman at outside linebacker, how key was he in containing the running attack?
Absolutely. Paul Goodman and even Trent Val a lot of times. I watched outside linebackers. Trent made an awesome play on Lonaker that one time. He got outside and he made a solo tackle, and you don't see many solo tackles on him. And that was a great play on him. And so we were really pleased about that. And then like you said, Dane, Austin Hell, Zane Hayden,
I had Van Winkle for 10 tackles. So.
I mean, every one of those guys came up and they played as a team tonight, and that was the biggest key. We were a team tonight.
Well, what I noticed was every carry Lonaker had, except for the couple, like you mentioned, getting out in the flat, face up with Val. I mean, you would figure he's bigger, he's going to run over, textbook tackle. But every play seemed like 3-4 minors were on him. There wasn't one guy making a play. It was like 4 guys making the tackle.
Well, we knew coming in that he was going to run the ball 90% of the time. So that was our goal, and we preached for a week now that we had to stop him. That was our goal. We wanted to force him to pass because we knew they were inexperienced there. So that was our main goal, and our kids were jacked up about being able to come in and been able to slow down a running back. Very good running back.
You got Austin Hale on our side, 126 yards, second in a row with 100 yards. What do you say about that kid?
He keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
And, I mean, everybody is. I mean, because they're really learning the offense and even the defense, but they're really starting to understand it. And he's hitting those holes fast, and he's hard to bring down. He keeps those legs moving, and he's a tough kid, and I'm glad I have him for another year.
Well, what do you possibly work on? Now, I know we didn't score the second half. I figure they did that on purpose just to give you something that you can talk to him about. We got down, but the ball hit the ground a couple of times.
Well, that was the thing. I think not until the third quarter on our first drive, we had our first fumble of the game, which was a bad snap and went through Dane's hand.
Yeah.
I mean, it rolled on the ground. Dane had nothing he could do there.
Yeah.
So, was there another turnover late, another fumble, or was that basically our only one?
We had 2 fumbles.
Two fumbles. Well, that's better than what it was the week before. So,
I think you're up 55-0. So I think some of the concentration, some of the intensity.
Intensity is the big thing, and that's the thing we always preach. We have to maintain it the entire time, and that's our big thing.
Yeah.
And we did, especially on defense, offense. We got down there. We were trying to do some things. We could have threw the ball if we wanted to. We didn't.
Yeah.
Out of respect there. We were trying to work more on our run game, work on a couple different plays here and there.
And you got the JV kids in on homecoming, which was nice, and I like that you kept the varsity defense in against their varsity offense because that.
Well, we didn't want to put our JV defense in that position.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going against guys that are a lot bigger than them, and we didn't want to take a chance of any of our JV boys getting hurt.
Oh, I agree with it 100%.
And we didn't want to take a chance of them running all over us either. We wanted to preserve that shutout. In the last couple of weeks, our JV came in and gave up a couple touchdowns against varsity.
Yeah.
Well, as long as their varsity offense is in, our
I agree
JV
with that.
defense in, but we was able to get our JV offense in, and they were able to move a little bit.
A great win, obviously, for the Miners. You got to feel great about how they came out. Now we've got the North Knox Warriors ahead. Of course, Sheridan down the road. We won't even think about that yet, but congratulations on an outstanding effort.
I appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you.
Okay, Coach, appreciate you coming up.
Thank you.
Nice win, and only thing we've got left to do now is Big D's got a little help.
Oh, I got to
perhaps,
leave.
And
sorry, I got to check out.
Coming up with our Graber Post Building Star of the Game. And, Dan, who's it going to be?
Oh, my gosh, Keith, this might be one of the toughest ones. How can you go against Austin Hales? 10 carries, 126 and a touchdown. But, I got to go defensively. I got to find somebody defensively because outstanding job. And, man, anybody could get it. I'm going to go with Paul Goodman because he made 9 or 10 plays out there at outside linebacker. Maybe he didn't get the tackle, but he's the one that pushed it inside. And
no question the defense really stood out in this football game in the first half when the issue was really decided pretty early.
Well,
Miners led at 26-0 at the end of one, 55-0 at the half, and that winds up being our final score.
They didn't even get a first down, Keith, until that
penalty.
And then finally they did. The first half numbers, golly, I think I had them 311 yards for us to 11 or 12 for them. You just can't get any better, and I don't think anybody saw that coming.
So congratulations, Paul Goodman's our Graber Post Building Star of the Game for being named Star of the Game. REMC is now pleased to donate $50 to the Linton Athletic Department. That's from Utilities District of Western Indiana, REMC, a strong supporter of local and area high school sports. Well, our post-game show is sponsored by Bender Lumber. Bender Lumber, Highway 54 in Linton, serving your building and repair needs with the highest levels of customer satisfaction. Our final score from Roy Williams Field in Linton, the Miners go to 6-0. They win at 55-0. Congratulations, Carly Boo, senior from Linton, a really nice young lady, and she was crowned homecoming queen as well. So for Dan Phillips and Darren Clayton and Rebecca Duckworth back at the station, I'm Keith Dodds. Thanks for listening, everyone. Good night from Linton.